Hello everyone and welcome back to the Triangle Table Tavern. It's good to see you again. Pull up a chair, get comfortable. We're going to go into tonight's game very shortly here, but first a couple of announcements. As you can probably see, you will see soon, Amber's not here for right now. She's a little sick, under the weather, so we wish her well and hopefully she'll get better soon.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see. Last session, I believe I forgot to mention that everyone had leveled up, or I think we cut off just at the very end. The YouTube has it, but as far as the episode goes, if you look at it, the YouTube video
You sound like an old guy.
The YouTube's
has it?
Yes.
it'll show you that at the very end they had leveled up. So everyone's starting at this point at a level 2. So a few people are cross-classing, and we'll go into that a little bit further. But without ado, let's go ahead and introduce you to the players themselves. So first we have Kristen. Tell us a little bit about you and your character there.
Hi, I'm Kristen. I play Hylene Leodon. She's a 7-foot-tall half-elf paladin of Athena. She is one step closer to taking her oath. She's still trying to figure herself out and figure out how do I go about spreading Athena's wisdom to the world. So that's where she's at. And Guillermo, what's up?
All the things. No. I am a drow. My name is Donash. I actually play as a monk. I spent 100 years in solitude and isolation with self-reflection because my past is quite mysterious, as is the blood-stained blindfold that I wear. However, after the 100 years of solitude, I decided to venture forth across Tremahia to seek company of those soaked in ale, because that's always a good time.
We're a good crowd.
Yes.
All right, next we have Kat.
Alright, hello, I play Amalthea. She's a half-elf. She had a little bit of a troubled upbringing, not feeling quite accepted by the other elves, so she turned to more criminal behavior. Eventually, she met a ranger she was in love with, and taught her how to range. He was killed, unfortunately, by a dragon. Then she bumped into Donash here, and then he played something nice on the flute, and I was happy again.
Yeah, and then hijinks ensued.
And then we met these other people
Yeah.
out and about.
Unfortunately.
All right.
Oh, them's fighting words.
All right, last we have Adam.
Hi. So normally we would have Trixie sitting next to me, but she is, as he mentioned, a little under the weather. So I'll just kind of give like Trixie's thing. She is a half elf rogue, and she is a little bit of a con artist, but she gave that life up when she had a brush with the law and very close near-death experience. And it was around that time that she met me. And hello, I play Mr. Jingles, the bounty hunter and sorcerer extraordinaire. He was a human orphan who was found by elves, but the elves are not very nice people, as Amalthea found out as well. And so he felt like an outcast, and eventually he wound up kind of getting run out of town. And after looking for what he wanted his life to be about, the purpose, the meaning of his life, he wound up becoming a bounty hunter. And so that is the path that he is on right now. And he likes to make sure that he keeps it fashionable while he's on it. So
It's probably a little bit his fault as well that you got run out of
it
town.
has nothing to do with it. That's completely beside the
He
point,
can be a bit of a
guys.
handful.
Don't listen to her.
All right, let's go ahead and recap last episode so that you guys are caught up as far as what happened. They awoke at the Red Herring Inn, and
Do we reenact this?
We could interpretive dance.
interpretive dance. Yeah.
Interpretive dance.
You're more than welcome to. Sure. All right. You guys, they woke up and they were greeted by a foof.
Master Foof!
Master Foof!
It was the personal page of the Duke of the area, the town that they're in, Quintessa, and had basically told them that the Duke would like them summoned for a specific reason. On their way there, they got caught up in, or at least the two bounty hunter extraordinaires got caught up in a little side altercation. They saw a potential bounty that resembled one that was on one of the wanted posters on one of the community boards there. And after pursuing him a little further, had a bigger altercation, and
Yes, bigger altercation, bigger person. Yes.
she revealed herself as Betty, the butcher, and who was also
Betty the badass butcher.
Betty the badass butcher.
Yeah.
She produced a few bolas herself, and they both fought off on who was going to win the bounty for
Which
that morning.
we rightly claimed.
Kind of.
Kind of. And Betty decided to finagle her way to see the castle, as she has never seen it as well. So she tagged along a guard who was also involved in just the preliminary
Shenanigans.
scuffle that evolved that morning. Went with them just to make sure that everything was going to be okay. You know, that there was the young page himself was there, so he wanted to make sure all things were safe for him at the very least. Upon making it into the castle proper, the doors opened and they found themselves face to face with the Duke and a knight, a personal knight of his, who had given him word about the good deeds that they did, saving the girl from the evil clutches of the necromancer. And because of that good deed, and then the morning's good deed as well, he felt it upon himself to, instead of turn in the reward as far as coin goes, to give you guys each, or two pieces rather, canisters of basically a magic item that allows you to send a scroll text to someone else holding that same canister.
Who knows?
It works like the spell message. There's a little bit of fudging with it, but we'll work that out as we go along.
Is an instant message.
It's within a round, so you write it down, and it takes a full round to appear in the other two.
Semi-instant.
Yeah, well, it's basically like my instant.
It has to go to the
It's
cloud.
just like, did you get it?
And
It's
back
like
down.
AIM from 1990.
Yeah.
The number 8 == capital D. Sorry.
Class act.
Couldn't resist.
So after that, Dawn Ash had learned a few little secrets about Betty and past dealings with Jingles himself. And
Told you not to talk to her.
She had a nice smelling pouch. I'll leave it at that.
Those who don't know the context, don't worry about it.
Watch the
episode
first
1.
episode on YouTube and you'll know.
yeah, great, lovely plug. I love it. So, but after the incident in the castle, she turned and basically faded off into the distance and walked off into the sunset, so to speak. And it was midday. You guys returned to the tavern, the Red Herring. A few dwarves walked in, at which point Dawn Ash decided to liven up the crowd a little bit. The adventurous drow decided to talk with them, and in talking with them, basically got them to
Drink off.
it was a drink off that wasn't
Much of a
much
drink off.
Wasn't
not
fair.
not in their favor. Even though the few sides that were switched up a little bit,
I threw up in my hand.
and in two steins about this size. So
Next time you're taking a drink, think of that.
that has yet to be resolved, by the way.
Oh, right. My eyes are as deep as my stomach, but you can't see them.
And decided to, after relieving himself, come back and just pull out his flute, his bamboo shakuhachi. I said it right this time.
Ooh.
And began to play a little ditty, in which case one of the dwarves that he was talking to pulled out a couple little bongos himself, and the entire crowd livened up. Dawn Ash decided to say a few words and rouse the crowd into somehow making it so that Trith and Amalthea danced the night away.
Basically.
And in that
Trith, the shy barmaid.
the shy, very shy barmaid, who I don't think she had a drink that night, just maybe one. Oh, she did.
She was
Yeah.
drunk on my music.
Sure. No, I mean, yeah, obviously it affected the entire crowd, and everyone was really in the mood. That entire evening concluded with a few passed out dwarves, a few other patrons also falling asleep, and Trith and Amalthea retiring to her quarters.
My mission is complete. Give me the reward. I'm just kidding. And by
Turn in
reward,
my
I mean
quest.
the savory details. I'm just kidding. Ooh. Never mind, I just thought of an idea.
So,
Bond
Donash,
resolve.
go ahead and roll me a Constitution check.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Quick question before we start. Who was
Sure.
the name of the knight errant that we ran into that was talking to the Duke?
His name was Donato.
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 Dana.
Mr. Donato.
All right, Constitution check. Here we go.
I believe in you.
I got A. What's Constitution?
A?
I got the letter A. Constitution's what? Where can I? Oh, 2. 16.
Okay.
Not bad.
You wake up and you don't have a
Better than I
hangover,
thought.
but you do wake up downstairs, clutching
Fantastic.
a bar stool.
Fantastic.
Your shakuhachi is in hand, but you're pretty much just leaning against the bar stool. It's pushed up against the bar itself, and you're kind of just underneath the overhang there. As your eyes clear up, or at least your senses clear up, I should say, you notice that there are a few other dwarves, of which you got to know that night, also passed out on the table or on the ground. Just just 2 of them. There are 2 other patrons also asleep on their chairs, leaning back, just snoring. Seems to what actually woke you up is
Sure.
the loud, sharp snores from one of the drunk patrons there.
Nothing else is stirring in the.
There is a few of the barkeeps are kind of making their way behind the bar, cleaning a few plates and from the night before.
2 mugs very vigorously.
And the 2 mugs you don't see on the table, so you can assume that throughout the night someone has taken care of them or
Fantastic.
thrown them out
Burning
back
out
or,
back.
or
Fantastic.
disposed of them in the maw of hell.
Okay. They have one of those. Red herring. All right.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of gingerly pick myself up off the floor without stumbling back onto all fours, and kind of look over just the crowd and notice like the people on the floor and the dwarves themselves, and decide it better not to wake them up from last night's revelries, and look over to one of the bartenders or barmaids, whoever's back there.
Okay.
Kind of get their attention, and whoever's closest.
It's actually the burly guy that you've met before.
Oh, perfect.
Joseph. He's just kind of like
Joseph.
moving stuff someplace around, whatever. You hear another person behind the closed doors, but you can't see
Sure.
them.
Okay,
You
so
can't
I'm
feel,
gonna-
you can't feel them.
Gonna kind of wave Joseph over and just look over at him and just say, thank you for letting me crash down here on the floor. I appreciate not
No
waking
problem. I've been there myself. Don't worry about it.
this spot.
2 feet over, but yeah.
Oh, like-minded, sir. Quick question. Number 1, do you have anything quenching? I seem to have a bit of a headache. And also, number 2, do you know what happened to Trith by chance?
Well, I retired early. I don't exactly remember.
You slept through all this.
No, I was upstairs. The music was still coming through, but I was able to. We normally allow a rowdy tavern crowd to kind of make their way through our halls here.
Well
It's
met.
not a big deal.
Well met.
All right.
But for Trith, though.
I don't know where she is. She tends to take off the morning as the night time is kind of her area of expertise.
You
Let me
don't
go
say.
ahead and get you something for your headache, and I'll be right back.
I
All
would
right?
appreciate that. Thank you, Joseph.
He walks behind the double doors there, and you can hear some plates kind of clinking and glass and whatnot. A few moments later, he returns with this weird. Well, you can't see color, so
I don't look through that lens, sir.
it's thick. As he kind of moves around, you can kind of tell it's
Oh, it's a cure-all.
slowly.
Okay.
Don't ask what's in it.
Can I like feel the weight of it?
Yeah, it's almost like you're moving liquid mercury in there. It's just like wow, it's.
Do I smell it? Can I? Is there anything?
Sure.
Don't,
Yeah,
don't
oh, yeah.
do it. Don't do it. Don't do
I
it.
smell
Just
it,
drink
yeah.
it.
It feels like there are a few herbs in there. Maybe egg. You're not entirely sure. Maybe some kind of like a water adjacent liquid.
Sure.
That's a great description to take home, kids.
Grease.
It's a water adjacent
So-
liquid.
So before I kind of feel the weight of it, and I go, "This is a secret recipe of yours."
I mean, no, it's the kind of the tavern special. We have a lot of drunks, but
Okay. On the nose with that one. Thanks, Joseph. And I just go ahead and slowly drink it.
okay, it goes down harsh, but
No constitution check. All right, good job.
yeah, not this time. But let me write down something though. Don't worry.
You can't hear out of your left ear now. Shit.
And now you have a bad visual acuity.
Yeah, but, oh, damn it.
Yeah, can hear that. Yeah, it kind of stings a little bit. It seems to linger in the back of your throat. You try to swallow it. It's like downing syrup. You know, just maple syrup. You're like, oh wow, what? It's really thick, and it almost seems to have a few little chunks in there. You're not entirely sure what that is, but
Did he just feed me back my throw up?
No, okay. Oh my god.
He didn't, right?
it does not taste like what you.
Thank
Yeah.
God, I'm really scared.
Well, I was hungry.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not thirsty anymore.
Oh man, that would have been something else.
Yeah, it sure would have. No, it has. I mean, every now and then you can kind of taste like a weird like cilantro feel to it, and then it kind of changes to like oregano.
Cilantro.
There's
on board with
herbs
that.
and spices in there, along with like the overtone of. And your character has never smelled motor oil before, but it has that thick, viscous like feel to it, almost medicinal.
Okay.
So,
I hope so.
yeah,
Back in these days, they didn't know it was bad.
So
it was in
I-
the same. Yeah.
So I finished the mug
All right.
and I set it down confidently, masking my apparent distaste. And and I look at him and I go, "Well, Joseph, if you don't mind, I appreciate the drink. I feel better already. Let me go and see if I can find my friends."
All right, no problem. I'll just be out here cleaning dishes. He takes the cup, your empty cup, and goes to wash it.
Perfect.
All right.
And so I'm gonna go ahead and
I feel about at this time Jingles walks down with like bags under his eyes, just bloodshot, just looking terrible.
Jingles.
Oh no.
How was the night, sir?
I didn't get as much sleep as I was hoping for.
You have a bit of a headache?
I don't want to talk about it.
Joseph over here has quite the concoction. A thick, nice, delicious drink that will soothe the wits, if you're interested.
I still have the batch ready if you want.
Ooh, is it good?
It is delicious.
If you would not mind, kind sir, I would gladly take one of those. If you wouldn't mind to put it in a nice little teacup, that's usually how I prefer my my beverages.
We'll see what we have. He
Thank you,
scratches
sir.
his head like teacup. Right.
Bring it
He
back in
walks-
the palm of your hand.
He walks back and you hear a more clanking, of glasses and whatnot, and you can hear a.
Oh, nice.
Does it sound like liquid? I mean, does it
It
sound like
pours a
something?
little thick.
Sounds like oatmeal.
It comes back
To a
out.
bowl.
And now you yourself can see the separation of colors. There is a brown layer, a green layer, and then a yellow layer at the very bottom.
Except
I
they
mean,
do.
I love rainbows, but this is like not the kind that I am really.
Are you
Drink
saying
it
that?
slow. And he hands it to you.
You drank this already.
Oh, I did.
Make a constitution check, actually.
Shit.
Perfect timing.
Ooh.
That is a 7.
Yes.
You feel like you're coming around.
Okay.
oh,
Good.
Now,
Got it.
you don't really get affected by
My hands
bright
are-
lights because of the blindfold, but the loud noises, the clinking even of the glass, kind of normally just would.
Sure.
It tends to have died down a little bit. Now it's not as it's not a completely cured right
Sure,
now,
but I can
but it's
definitely
better.
feel it.
It's better, yeah.
So I look back at Jingles and I go, it does quite work.
Okay. And I will gingerly take it, and I'm going to do against my better judgment. I'm gonna sniff it.
Probably shouldn't have said it. It really doesn't smell all too well. Now it's got a lot of herbs and spices.
Oh,
The medicinal part does hit you, but you're not sure what exactly. There's a
I think
lot
it's
in
working
there.
just fine as a vapor. I think maybe if I just like smell it for a little while.
No,
I'll be
man, you
alright.
drink that.
Don't be rude. Don't insult the man. This is the tavern special.
I would never. You know, I'm not just trying to be rude, right?
I mean, if you want that, I can give you like a lavender pouch or something.
You have those?
I mean, no, but you can go buy one.
Oh.
Just drink it up.
Okay.
And I go over and I put under my hand underneath the teacup and I just kind of
Slowly. Oh.
attaboy, and I pat you on the back pretty hardly.
Roll a con check.
Oh boy! All right. Come on, Jingles. That's like 8.
Okay.
It's okay.
It hurts now, probably more so because you downed it quickly. It tends to still linger in the back of your throat, though. You can't quite, like, it seems like you try to swallow and it's just still hanging there, like a flame that you can't quite get rid of, you know.
I hate
Just
that.
like, I'm good. Yeah,
better already.
That's great. Good job.
Wait a while. And he heads back into the back, and you hear him clanking some more glasses and whatnot, bringing them out and kind of setting them aside, ready for the other day and plates and whatnot.
I look over to Jingles and I go, Jingles, do you know where everyone else went? More
Well,
specifically, Malthea.
I'm fairly certain that they are still upstairs.
They.
I'm not entirely certain.
But you said they.
I think they. Last I was aware.
Okay. I'm gonna go find them. Would you care to join?
I feel like
Yes, I would.
So I feel like at this point, Highlander comes in through the front door because she's been out wandering the streets of Quintessa.
Okay.
So how are we?
I feel right as rain and clear as the morning dew.
You don't look as clear as the morning dew, but
I could
I
tell.
will trust that you are feeling better.
Your voice does rather carry, though. Or why do you insist on yelling at me?
I'm speaking normally, my friend.
Ah, well met. Well, Jingles and I were just on our way upstairs to see if we could find you and the rest of the gang, but seems like you're
I
here.
think we should leave the rest of the gang alone for a while. It would be prudent, I believe, to not disturb people while they're sleeping. Prudent.
It wouldn't necessarily be disturbing. It would just be
Rousing.
No, let's not.
Joseph from the back of the bar goes, "You kind of already did that last night. Do you guys want breakfast?
I would
I
love
was just
breakfast.
going to suggest, yes, please.
The regular special that you tend to seem to order."
Joseph, you know me best.
I mean, yeah.
You don't have a choice.
He goes back and you can hear him working again some more.
Great. So I look back to Highland and I go, now, when you speak of prudent, do you mean us to be prudent, or the things upstairs, the actions were of a more prudent
we
nature?
should let people do what they do and not get in their business.
Ah, yes. I look over to Jingles and I go, do we have a bet on this? Can we have had a bet on this?
I'm fairly certain we had a bet on this, so yeah, let's do it. Let's
Alright, so I look at you and I go,
well, there's only one way to really find out.
do you rush off?
I'm gonna rush off.
I'm gonna take up after you. I'm gonna grab you by the rope.
I'm still a little kind of stumbly.
Do not.
Make a grapple check.
Yes! And I sit back and reap the benefits.
That's straight.
Swing. Make
6.
contested. Ooh, make contested.
Ooh, is that a right side up 6? Is
What,
that a
as
6 or a
opposed to
9?
an upside down
Which
6?
should be a 9.
Yeah.
That's a 9 minus 1. Minus 1.
Oh,
1.
you just
Still beats it.
Yes.
You grab him by the shoulder, but he's just
Spin move.
Yep.
In my mind, it's a spin move. I really just kind of drunkenly stumble.
Right.
Yeah, the room's a little still spinning, but getting better for you.
I'm gonna continue to chase him up the stairs.
Okay.
Go.
I follow.
What is your speeds? What are your speeds?
My speed right now
You're way
is
faster.
30.
You have to be.
No, I'm at a 32, and I'm also in a dress, so.
Well, all right.
You're in a
I'm
dress?
in a robe, but
Roll.
It's a
Sorry.
European carry-on.
Right.
That's right.
You do make it to the door. You have one more chance there before he.
It's,
Alright.
oh God, it's
So
locked.
grapple check again. All right.
Another grapple check.
Okay, let's see what that is. That is a. What are you? 15.
Oh, damn.
And that's a right side up 6, so that's a -5.
So he's holding onto the doorknob. He has.
I'm not
Wriggled
letting
a
go
little
of the
bit?
doorknob. She can take me, but I'm holding on.
I'm just going to pick him up because I'm like 2 feet taller than he is, and carry him back down the stairs.
You're gonna let her carry you
No,
away like a
no.
baby.
So
No.
you do get carried off, but not before making a bunch of. and you
What
hear-
are you doing?
Amalthea, you do wake up from this, and you do
Yes.
hear the noise that has just been.
Yes. And I say, oh, God. Trev.
She's there with you. She's there with you.
Juicy gossip.
She is clothed.
Mom, I heard something out. Somebody was at the door.
I believe that was your companions.
Oh, my God.
I'm sorry. She rubs her head a little, and she goes, oh, I'm so sorry. If you feel that you have been wronged, I can make things right.
What? What are you talking about?
I don't know. I mean,
What did
we
you
were all
guys
cut up
do?
in the moment. I don't know if
You're downstairs.
I don't know if
I give her a big kiss and just shut her up.
her hands fall to her side,
To
almost limp.
My side.
No, her side.
Damn it. She's still very shy. You gotta coax her out of that.
She gotta get her out of the shell.
But she does eventually reciprocate a little bit.
We kiss more passionately.
Yeah.
Is that a command?
I'm instigating
Kiss
the
more
passionate kiss.
Damn you, woman. Commit.
She's still kind of like fitting her clothes for the day. Actually, she seems to have taken
I thought
her.
we snuggled in bed.
Huh?
You're not snuggled in bed anymore?
Well, she was.
Oh.
But she got up. She's getting her clothes on.
Rolled a natural 20 on her stealth. She's doing real good.
Okay.
It does seem like she was trying to get out
Get out to
before,
work.
before work, before
Right.
even waking you and all that. She turns back to you and she goes, "Well, I mean, what we had, I thought it was special. I don't know if this is something you wish to pursue.
Very much so.
Her cheeks begin to blush some more. She's looking down at the ground and she doesn't seem to want to make eye contact. And I have to get going.
I think me too. If that was my friends out there, I think I'd better see what's going on with that.
It might be a good idea. See what they're up against.
Sorry.
Well, I'll see you later.
Okay. She grabs the rest of her belongings, a small little satchel and
Yes.
whatnot. She goes to unlock the door.
Right. I just pull her back one more time and give her like a very tender kiss on the lips.
All right.
Oh.
At this point, she'll actually put her arms around you.
Yes.
Why don't I see this?
Because not your business.
But it seems to be all of yours.
Yeah, seriously, come on.
absolutely.
Pot to kettle.
She pulls away and gives you a little wink. I'll see you downstairs. And then she heads on out.
I've gone back downstairs with them.
Okay.
By the way.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, everyone's now back downstairs. She opens the door and she closes it behind her. So do that with what you will. You don't see her actually. You hear some movement upstairs, but you don't see Trish. And that's about it.
I wonder why.
By all means, eat your breakfast.
I'm not
Joseph
hungry when
comes
there is
back
juicy
out and-
gossip about.
Eat the breakfast that is now here.
Well, I'm gathering my stuff together and I'm just smoothing out my hair and my face, and then I quietly leave the room and kind of look down the corridor.
No,
The very
Something
picture of normalcy. Eating,
And-
enjoying myself.
Not.
Make a deception check then.
Oh, I'm
you
like,
too.
I'm
You too. I want to see. Yeah.
I was gonna say
I know.
I'm just staring. I am
Still making
staring.
18.
18. All right.
And I'm gleaming with.
That's
seems like pride.
I think that's a 15. It was a 13 on there, and I've got
I
a
saw it. I'm a
plus. I've got a plus. It's a 17.
Oh, not bad. Okay. Donash, you don't look like.
We're good.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
All right. Okay. You don't look suspicious at all. However, Jingles there is
Looks a
completely looking
little
like he's just
shady.
like.
He's
Hylene is eating and looking at, just giving Jingles the side eye, like, don't you dare.
Make your deception check as well.
Deception
You
check.
finish that
Yeah.
pass
You're
over.
Trying to
trying-
deceive anybody.
Well,
Oh, that is a 23.
okay. Amalthea, you do come downstairs,
Yes.
and for the most part,
Casual
Donash
sitting.
and Hylene are eating their breakfast.
Right.
Jingles has full attention on you. and has a smile on his face.
Hi guys. Good morning.
Malthea.
Hi, how you
So
Come have some breakfast. Sit down. You
Thank
look
you.
positively exhausted.
doing? No, I feel quite rested, thank you.
Oh, good.
Yeah, rejuvenated. Yeah, it looks
Yes.
like you must have had yourself a good time last night.
Oh yeah, we danced for hours.
It's a good time, right?
Oh, yeah,
The music
yeah.
and the drinking.
Yes.
Absolutely. I only threw up once.
Why, Don Ash? Why do you do that?
Do what?
Is it so? You know, I was wondering. I haven't seen Trith this morning, and I was kind of curious as to, you know, where she
So
might have been. If you, since you know, you and her seem to get along so well, I was wondering if maybe.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen Trith.
Yeah, it's really shocking that.
Yeah, the night kind of just fizzled out into a blur. I figured she had gone home for the night.
You can see the eyebrow raise on Joseph. You can feel it.
God.
He just shakes
Quite
his
the
head.
arch, yeah.
He takes a few of the empty plates from your breakfast and heads back. And he's just like, "Oh, I'm not gonna."
I kind of like inwardly smile at that because I can feel like, I was like, yeah, he knows. So yeah, I hadn't seen Trith. I figured that she had gone home for the night. I just got a big old mouthful of bacon and the entire plate. Just like,
You know, I think sometimes she stays here at the upstairs. When,
Oh, really?
You know, if it's a late night or something like that.
Yeah.
oh.
Does she have her own room, or does she just kind of like pick one of the ones that she likes best?
Jingles, you seem to be beating around the bush. I can feel like a hesitation on this side of the table.
I'm beating around the bush.
Huh, I'm sorry?
What?
Yeah, it sounds like you want to say something, but you're not quite saying it. I don't know. I mean,
What?
I can't see
think
your body language, but I can feel it in your voice. I don't know. I'm just trying to
I
say.
feel like you're being rather forward right now, Don Ash. I, of course, wouldn't be implying anything, but it wouldn't be that unnatural if I didn't have maybe a little bit of curiosity as to, you know, seeing as you guys did so well last night, and, you know, with the little, you know, kiss digger, that whole thing, and, you know, maybe,
I think I blacked out. I don't remember any of this.
I don't know what I don't know. Do you know what they're asking me?
Malthea, I'm not asking you anything. I was trying to see what
okay,
his
what is-
problem was.
what's the
Oh,
shit?
come on! Did you go to sleep with her last night or not?
Oh, that's what you mean.
Oh, no, drop it!
Jingles.
Well-
My goodness, that's. She's a lady. You don't ask a lady about her
You don't
business.
kiss and tell.
You
Whether
don't
or
try
not I
to
kiss,
break down
I
their
can't.
door in the morning.
Whether or not
I
I
didn't
kissed,
try
I
to break
can't.
down the
You
door.
tried
I
to
simply
open the
tried
door.
to open it a little bit.
Oh.
Well-
To let you know that we were having breakfast.
Whatever happened, I hope that everything was pleasant.
Yes, and I have to thank you, Donash, for playing such wonderful music. for us to-
Wingman.
Of course.
Don Ash, you feel a hand go to grab some of your breakfast.
I immediately grab it.
Oh,
Betty?
and no,
Is it Foof?
it's Rodin,
You
one of the
stay
dwarves
away!
that was partying with you last night. He just kind of like,
Oh, I look at him.
"Oi, lad,
Oh,
let me have some."
you are alive. I thought you were dead like 3
Oh,
times.
sorry. You can't be reaching for man's breakfast without their knowing. By all means, though. Have a seat.
Oh,
How do you feel?
right as rain.
Oh, don't worry. The
Clear as the
bartender,
dew, huh?
Yeah,
As they say, yeah.
bartender's got a little something that'll fix that right up.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
oh yeah, Joseph, tavern special.
Oh wait, you know about it?
Oh, we come here often, yes.
I should have
Hey,
known.
he
Rodin, so.
Dwarves.
Yeah.
he sloppily puts the
Racist.
bacon in his mouth.
What is
Casual
this?
racism.
I'm sorry.
What is this tavern special?
Oh.
You guys-
Oh,
It is a nice, thick concoction in which clears the head. Mind, body,
Joseph
and
at
soul.
that moment comes out and goes, I heard tavern special. Do you want more?
The lot.
The whole lot of you.
Oh no, I'm good. I'm good with mine. I am perfectly.
You have yet to finish it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm gonna be nursing this for a little while. I'm a slow drinker.
I'm
Thank
not
you,
sure.
Joseph, but I don't require anything this morning.
Understand, Melody.
I'll take
Is
a
that
half
another
cup.
one?
When you're
Half
7
cup?
feet tall,
I'm
it's
not
just
sure.
not even a challenge.
Would you like to split one?
I'm not sure I want to have a clear head. I kind of like it swimming and tingling a little bit.
Ooh, let it
I
tingle.
will also have what she's having.
We don't serve that.
Damn it.
Not a house of ill repute. Come on.
I don't know what you're saying.
Oh, I tease.
I
Anyway.
receive. That's fine, actually. Half the cup I had already is fine.
I'll split one with you.
You sure?
Yes, I'll split one with you.
Rodin?
Yes.
I'll have 2 of that. And he kind of just sits. He doesn't even know what he's sitting on. He's sitting on your leg, actually. He's kind of like just.
I'm like kind of. I'm okay with it just because he seems to be having.
He's
a hard
not
morning.
full on putting
He's, like,
all of his
resting.
weight.
He's
Yeah,
still
just-
like 50-50.
Yeah.
I look at him and I go, Rodin, we did have a drink off last night, or a challenge of sorts, and I seem to be of a righter mind than you. Would you admit to
He
defeat
grabs
to
the glass that you had. Yeah, what?
Well played, sir. You earned yourself some breakfast. Also, I won, just for the record.
I audibly laugh.
1,000-yard stare as he sloppily puts the bacon into his mouth again.
Just remember where that's coming from, whose plate you eat off of.
Don't get us
Remember
into trouble.
whose mugs you.
Throw up in?
Something.
Yes. Yes. I remember that very distinctly.
A mug for mug, a rasher of bacon for a rasher of bacon. My friend, you're welcome here anytime. All right. I will cease yelling at you.
Thank you, and he goes back to resting on your leg.
Sure. What about
Joseph comes
the rest
back
of your... Oh, I'm sorry.
Joseph comes back out with the 2 large steins for Rodin and then 2 more half cups for both of you. Did you say you wanted one? Or?
Yeah, we were just going to
Yeah,
split
yeah.
one, but half is
Gotcha.
half and half.
Copy that.
So I look over to Rodin and I go, so how are the rest of your party faring?
He looks back.
Or they're just like a pile of dwarves.
Keaton is there, laying on one of the tables, the furthest table actually. It seems like the table actually was moved against the wall, and he's just kind of laying there.
That's amazing.
There's one. And he just goes back to laying on your leg.
Do you think we should wake him up?
We should let
I
sleeping
feel
dwarves
like,
lie.
yeah, I feel like
You know.
they can be a little bit grumpy.
Fair enough.
He grabs a hand axe. It still has the leather sheath
Oh,
on
thank
it.
God.
Oh, I was gonna say,
I was
or
like,
very
Jesus
grumpy. I'm
Christ.
sorry.
He goes to throw it, and it just falls right where
Sure.
he lays it.
I'm gonna just kind of very gingerly like pick it up and just. I think you dropped that.
Oh, I know I did. Keaton! And he just kind of falls back to sleep there, on your leg. There is
Don't
some stirring
move.
upstairs, and you can kind of hear like a heavier footfalls. And among them, you hear a light pitter patter from Trixie as she makes her way down finally.
Oh, there you
Baby
are,
dwarves.
sleepyhead.
Oh.
How are you feeling?
Hey, just doing good. Did you make a really loud noise earlier?
No, I wouldn't do that. I respect people when they are sleeping.
That was Highland, actually.
Yeah, that's Highland.
That was me picking up jingles when he tried to barge into somebody's room.
Tried to open it politely.
That's not unheard of. Anyway,
That's gross.
I actually feel really good. I don't have any hangover.
How? You
I
drank
don't
like a fish.
Metabolism, like
That's.
that.
I wish. Oh, I wish I had it.
Yeah.
I see you have breakfast there. I think I'll partake. Do you mind if I just sit over here though? I've got a few things I've got to go over. If you don't mind. Just...
I would like to insight check and make sure it's nothing of mine.
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Okay. All
I
right.
mean, we are all like, oh
Yeah.
my god. I
Okay.
got my
All right.
pockets,
That's
felt like diamonds.
that's a 14.
Right.
Okay. She looks like she's kind of just going through her
This is-
purse and just making sure all of her belongings are there. Her
Oh,
knives
she's dealing
and
with the purse. Okay. No, that's totally that's her. That's all her.
Well, don't you yourself have some?
I have a satchel.
tomorrow.
Merce.
There's
It's a
a difference.
merce.
There is a difference. It is fashionable.
So it seems like she's kind of going through her inventory, looking at her caltrops and her knives and whatnot, just kind of making sure her things are in order.
Okay. All right.
And as she kind of picks at
I'm
the
just
food
gonna
but-
very casually just like tap my coin purse, and just make sure it feels like it's
feels as heavy as when you
okay.
went to bed.
All right. Fair enough.
You do sleep in the same quarters as her, so.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
That's why.
Okay.
So, I kind of like, now that everyone's here and we have a mildly drowsy dwarf, I kind of look at the table and I go, well, if everyone's in good spirits, what say you find about this underground stream business that the dwarves talked about.
So as you were talking, you see the other heavier footfalls that you heard upstairs begin to kind of come down, and they're the three rest of the dwarves are just chuckling and talking to themselves as they make their way towards the far table where that one guy with Keaton is sleeping. So the rest of them are just Taran, Horin, and Denise. They go to kind of just they shake him slowly. They're not waking him up.
Denise.
I know. Denise.
It's like Blinky, Slinky, Pinky, and Mo.
Kind of, yeah. So Rodin eventually kind of stirs up again, and because he heard the talking, he goes, "I'll be right back, lad." And he heads over to the dwarves, and they begin talking. Now Keaton is upright and nursing a hangover. He himself has the tavern special.
Sure.
And they all converse a little bit. They look over in your direction, and a few of them begin to kind of get up and stir and make their way over to you guys where you're at. Rodin will talk to you once more. He goes, "Well, my head's a little bit clearer, and I think the rest of the party is as well. Are you lot ready to go?"
Yeah, I mean, by all means, do you guys care to have a bit more bacon or eggs? Anything
Oh,
to
yeah,
get
no.
protein?
When you look back at their table, they do have their own Russian
Sure.
food as well. They've been munching on it as they were talking to
Sure.
themselves.
How long do you think we'll be gone for?
It's hard to say. Don't know really what's the problem, so it could be a number of things. We think goblins, but
Oh.
We think goblins, but... So I look at him and I go, well, how far travel is this place? This mine?
it's about half a day on horse.
Horse.
Yeah.
We don't have a horse, do we?
We don't have a damn thing.
Do you guys have like a wagon or a covered carriage or something preferable out of the sun?
We do have one wagon. It is filled with supplies, or at least crates that we're going to get supplies. We're going to stop by a supply route. They have a fort there, and potentially, who knows? We have yet to hear word about if they want anything else. We'll be getting a falcon at some point in this morning.
A falcon?
In fact, Keating,
That
if
is
you don't
awesome.
mind, head
I want a
outside.
falcon.
Yeah.
Keating gets up and
I lean over you and I go, you're embarrassing me.
That's
Calm
cool.
yourself. Yeah.
Keating heads up and walks out the door, and you can kind of see him pull on a large, thick leather bracer, as well as like a glove that accompanies it. He seems to walk out the door and turns over to the right.
Well, I look at Rose and I go, well, I would love to say that we are ready to join you, but we don't seem to have a steed of any sort to...
Oh, we can provide that there are stables nearby. Joseph, there should be stables nearby, correct? And Joseph, from the back, you hear him go, yeah, there should be. If you, let's see, head up north. Just go north. You should be.
Follow the stench.
He does directions like me.
Yeah.
There should be a red building. Make a right there. And he heads back down. He just, he's busy.
Yeah,
at this
thank you,
point.
Joseph.
Yeah. Would you, by any chance, know where an individual could pick up, say, a parasol?
What?
Are you talking to Joseph or the?
Whoever's listening.
I'm listening and I
Oh
go,
yes, the sun
what?
is bad. The sun can be very damaging for your skin, and I take great pride in this. So
Jingles, do you not have your carpet with you?
I do have my carpet, but I will not denigrate my carpet to being used as a parasol.
Well, I will not have you weighing us down with frivolous frivolities.
It is absolutely not frivolous. It is absolutely necessary.
Do you know where we get a parasol?
Rodin speaks up. He says, "Oh, you guys tend to have bazaars nearby. Perhaps there."
All right,
That
Rodin.
sounds like the place.
Then we will head to the bazaar and stock up our own supplies, and then we will meet you post haste at your
In front of the tavern here.
Okay. I'm just gonna run up to the bar real quick. Jingles, can you come with me for a second? I'm gonna speak to Joseph. Joseph, do you have a piece of paper, and a pen?
Some parchment. I do in my own personal study
Oh.
upstairs, but I'll be right back if you don't mind.
Thank you.
Do you have a quill, ink? Well,
I
or
think
should I
maybe do we have haversack?
check the haversack.
I'm gonna stick my hand in the Mary Poppins bag and fish around.
There is one. Actually, you did end up taking a few of the quills that the necromancer
Yes. Okay.
Shit, are they magic? Can you investigate that?
I'm gonna.
Do not. This is like reading from the Book of the Dead. You got to make sure that you're not fucking
had.
up.
Why is it writing?
Why is it doing this? Stupid thing's broken.
Yeah.
I'll pull out the quill and I'll just see if is it screaming like evil
It
magic?
looks like a normal quill.
You know what I'll do? I have a set of game. I have a gaming set. I have a dragon's deck.
Mm-hmm.
You have a dragon's what? Sorry.
Dragon.
A deck of cards that.
Dragon anti deck.
Sorry, that was the
Okay.
accent joke.
So I'm gonna pull out one of the cards.
Okay, let's see here which one. Okay.
Very interesting
Um,
cards.
Something with like a heart or something.
Queen of Hearts,
fancy on
please.
it,
Queen of
like
Hearts,
that.
please.
Okay.
Please.
Queen of
Alright.
Hearts, yes, if I
Or
have
Dragon
one.
of Hearts, whatever.
My
Alright.
Dragon of Hearts. And I'm gonna write like a little note on it. And then I fold it up and I'll say, Jingles, do you have like a little scent or something like that I can put a little glitter?
Do I?
That I can put on here?
Just a buffoonery
I've got.
of
It's literally. It's like the guy who sells watches in New York. Like,
It's perfume.
so I've got a whole selection. We've got lavenders. We've got like the nice fragrances, vanillas, and all the simple ones. We've got the spices, the
Do you have
cinnamons.
like a rose kind of scent?
Absolutely.
With a little bit of glitter that we can put on this.
I do the glitter.
Okay.
So I'm gonna get the rose, and I'm going to just ever so daintily just.
There's so much you can find at
Right.
me.
So
Okay.
And then I
There we go. And I am then going to glitter bomb it.
Jesus.
Is that your god?
I don't know.
Say,
It's right to say right
Jesus.
there.
I was gonna say, Joseph,
It's a
it's a
friend
little,
of mine.
it's a
Way
little
back when.
message for
Is this going to
Trith.
Trith?
I was
Is
wondering
this
if
going
you
to
would.
Trith?
Yes, I was
Yes.
wondering if you would give that to her, please,
I
because I don't
knew
think I'm gonna see her before we leave.
Okay.
I need to know that I'm
He
coming
he kind of bows, and you can kind of see him as he walks away. Just kind of give a little sniff. He saw you do the whole shebang, so he's like,
Yeah, I was gonna say Jingles.
back. I give you your quill back.
Why? Thank
Thank
you.
you for letting
Just
me.
have to say,
Sorry.
I bet you guys are adorable.
You're quite adorable.
And I'm just gonna stick it back in the haversack.
Okay.
I'm pleased.
Okay. So we can walk back to our
Yep,
friends.
we
Yeah,
can go
I'll
back
probably
shopping
dig out.
day.
I'm upstairs to collect my mace and my shield because we're dealing with goblins, so those are going to be possibly goblins.
You know what? I would love to go to an apothecary when we get to the bazaar. I think maybe some herbs might help us out on this trip.
Yes, you and your herbs.
Yes, me and my herbs. What of it? You and your sense, sir.
Yes,
We
touche.
can- two can play
Touche.
this way. So yeah, I guess let's go ahead and get out of here and head to the. So I look back at Road and I go. So
Right.
what time is it now? Is it like 10 a.m.?
give or take. I mean, the sun seems to be right around like a 30-degree.
Sure.
So yeah, roughly just before 10 or so, 9ish.
All right. We'll meet you back here at high noon.
It's high noon.
No, an hour's time should be enough.
Fine. I'm just kidding. I go. Right, fair enough.
We're waiting on a falcon, so we don't know. But
Understood.
That's so
Well, then
cool.
We'll go ahead. All we have to do is, I think, just buy a few things, so we'll be back here.
Parasol.
Just a parasol. That's
Parasols
all I
and
asked
herbs
for.
and
That is
shields
all I
and
asked
No, I've got
for.
my shield.
All right. Well, then we'll be back in a jiff.
all right, lad.
So we go ahead and head out.
I start heading south, and then they correct me, and
Yeah.
I've got my arm over.
yep.
I've got my arm over Jingles, and I kind of look over and I go. So how's the business with the monthly?
So.
And the gossip ensues.
Yeah, we are
Yes.
going to juicy gossip.
Fantastic.
As you guys actually make your way north, you do see where the stables are, but you guys make your way. You continue your way up to where the bazaar is there, and the city's already up and at 'em,
Yeah,
and they're all hustle and bustle, and you can hear shouts from the different vendors, trying to call their patrons over to their particular booths. You wander around a bit. Both of you make a investigation check. Since you guys are something specific.
That's 10 plus 2 is 12.
19.
Okay,
He's blind.
Go ahead and
Shit.
make a. Why not?
No.
This is some intense shopping, guys.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
We don't shop, we hunt. What am I doing?
All right. So what was the number you got?
19.
19. You got
12.
Okay.
Are you bullshitting me? A queen of dragons, you say?
Queen of Dragons. I've never even seen that before.
Nice touch. Nice touch.
Almost right off the bat, you do see an apothecary type of guy. You can feel the bottles hanging off the top part of his booth, and he seems to have little pots and satchels and sacks of various things. Possibly, you don't know. I mean, there's a lot of different things coming from it, but it's almost right near the beginning as you enter the bazaar, the open street bazaar. You're able to basically pick out right off the bat.
Okay, perfect. I head over there and I just kind of greet the man and I go, good morning, sir.
Oh, how are you doing? Hey, sorry. Hi. Sorry, just doing some bookkeeping.
No, by all means. I was just looking over your wares, checking out your lush plants.
What do you need?
Well, you
What
know,
can I help you with?
my friends and I are about to head towards the mountains and wanted to just make sure that we had everything that we needed before we left on this journey, and I was hoping you had maybe something that could stave off, I don't know, like a poison or of such, just in case. My friends are not we're not very well versed in woodwork.
An
So
antivenom or an antipoison? Let me look.
Sure.
He ruffles behind his countertop there. You can hear some bottles clacking. Pulls up a few, kind of lets them in the light, and uncorks them. Goes back and I think this is it. He puts one bottle in front of you. There are other potion bottles there, but he does hand you a specific potion bottle that seems to be what you are looking for.
perfect. And then I also want to. What do I want to do here? Is there anything of an herb nature that I could burn and cause like a noxious gas of sorts?
Well, that escalated quickly.
We are going to a mine with close spaces, and we may run into goblins. I'm saying this aside, the guy doesn't hear me.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, good call.
Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to.
Or you know what? I don't ask him this.
Okay.
Do I know this? Is there like a certain herb that I know of that burns with a noxious, almost like a tear gassy kind of?
In your 100 years of solitude, you know that there are a few plant fauna type and flora, that have a certain smoke to them. You can burn them, and they will produce a lot of smoke. Not so very much toxic.
Sure, but like just
it obscures the vision. I'll put it that way.
Anything that is hard to breathe. It doesn't have to be toxic or noxious, but like something that like it can clear out a room.
Smoke will generally.
Oh yeah, sure. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you're delighted within the tavern, it would obscure vision and possibly cause people enough discomfort to want to leave the tavern. You know.
Alright, do you? I'm just gonna name it. Hopefully you'll like this. But do you have any quiver root by chance?
Quiver root.
Yes.
He goes and. Let me look out back. He walks behind him. You see another little boy kind of get pushed in to kind of like watch the stall as you can hear him rummaging through the back. He comes back out with what looks like a similar to a sage.
Like a dried sage bundle.
Yeah, and but it's a little bit like a little more bluish and purple with the leaves. He's like, well, I think this is kind of what you're looking for. It's a different variety, but you might be able to. He puts it on the counter right next to the potion bottle.
Fantastic. I was like, yes, I just love smoking my meat, so I enjoy.
Like smoking.
I enjoy it.
I mean, this is not necessarily what you would use this for. It's pretty harsh.
Well, quiver. I mean, if you were saying it was similar to quiver root, I'm just trying to like basically like decept, and I don't want him to know exactly what I'm using it for. Like quiver root was actually good to smoke and cure meat. Is this not?
I mean, it'll be fine. I'm sure you're. Look, I don't know what you like, but it might work.
I don't like the way he said that, but I take it anyways. And so I grab the first bottle that he put on the table, as well as the bundle of purplish leaves. And how much would this be?
The antitoxin is 50 gold pieces. The
50 gold pieces, sir. I could go into the woods right now and make exactly what that is. 50 gold.
then why don't you?
Because I'm a person who enjoys convenience, but I can tell you right now that that is not worth 50 gold. And I'm willing to put down something we can both agree on, but 50, my sir.
No deal.
No deal.
Excuse me, sir. So I apologize. We are actually bounty hunters. We are getting ready to capture a nefarious villain. We are about to go off on a mission so deadly, so dangerous, that few others in the land would dare try it. And all we ask is just this paltry item for my friend here. It could mean life or death for some of us. And we are here for you. Is there any way that maybe you could just see it in your heart of hearts to try and just help us out just that tiny little bit?
It would be...
What your friend failed to mention is that this antitoxin takes a long time to brew. He goes in and takes the bottle and kind of takes it off the table there. The quiver root is still
Sure.
on the table though.
It is actually quiver.
We'll just write it down for that.
Fantastic. I look at him and I go, I do understand the skill it takes to make such an antitoxin, but while it does brew for a long time, 50 gold pieces seems steep, especially for what we're using it to do. You could potentially save one of our party. And I didn't mean to come across rude, but sir, we're taking this job because...
We like to save children.
And also, bounty fills purses.
Both.
And
Versus-
kittens.
Either of you make a
Persuasion?
deception check.
I'm persuading.
Okay, make a persuasion check with disadvantage. Either of you,
Damn it.
whichever wants to do it.
Alright, well that's probably going to be the roll.
That's
No,
the one.
I got a lesser. That's an 8. No, I'm sorry, that's a 6. Doesn't apply to you.
All right, 6. I don't care what it's for. Other people have the same use. I'm sorry, I can't let this go. However, the quiver root is 3 gold.
I look, okay, so I go, you'll excuse me for one moment. I look back to the group.
Are we having a powwow?
Yes.
Yes.
I just kind of want to converse between the four of us. Do any of you have any experience with goblins? Personally, myself, I have not met such a folk, and I imagine that their blades are dipped in some kind of poison. They seem to be dirt fighters.
I'll have you 3 make a history check.
Okay. Alright, history. I feel like this is the right dice for history. That was the wrong dice for history. That's
History
a
of
9.
Shitty rolls.
Okay,
And
8.
Yes.
Highland
We're
8.
doing good.
You actually know that dealing with goblins is not so terrible. There are goblins that move in broad daylight. They're not treated very well, but they have tried to mix with these societies, different societies. So even in your Athenai society, you know that there are goblins that walk amongst you. They have businesses, they have professions, just like most other people of your tribe and all that. So it's not so much that you have to deal with a goblin necessarily, or goblins that are aggressive, so much as they may just be a hindrance. They have their own means to an end on a few things. So you're not entirely sure what could go on.
Now, goblins are not entirely uncivilized. They are not barbaric necessarily. Just they might be a bit of a hindrance. So I think in this case we can worry less about poison blades and more about persuading them to maybe not be where they are to block the water.
What do goblins like in general?
Do they? Would I know?
Do they like long walks on the beach?
Like gold
A nice
rings.
glass of wine. Yeah.
It depends on the tribe,
Okay.
particular tribe. Some just like to be left alone up in the mountains. Others, they do try to go after different prized possessions. So there will be some that actually try to mine for gems and such. There are some that wish to hunt various animals just for the sport. There are others that wish to ultimately be accepted within society.
So it might depend on the types of goblins that we find down there.
Yes.
And there are a few that are
Maybe they like
purely
parasols.
You just spin
Or
it.
perhaps we could just find them a better place to mine if that's what they're after. I mean, it doesn't have to be a battle.
They're not very smart, I don't think.
That doesn't mean they can't be persuaded.
No, I think that means that they can be much more easily persuaded.
You actually know that they can be quite intelligent.
Okay.
I still say that.
So then, no poison.
No poison.
This man is trying to rob us blind. I can tell you that right now.
Okay, well then we don't need to buy it.
Well, then I look at him and I go, fine. We will not take the antitoxin. You can save that for another party with much more dire straits. However, possibly you have any squat root to stop excessive bleeding, perchance?
Actually, I do think I have a lot of that. Be right back. And he goes, and the poor little kid gets pushed again. He's just kind of standing there like...
I wonder if this is a thing that Trixie would steal. I wish she was here to tell me.
If only
she was here to tell me.
That's okay. I don't mind paying this man. Actually, it's totally fine.
Okay, so Trixie is going to kind of walk up to you. She kind of gets your gist there, and she goes,
And I would like to see if I can make a distraction somewhere, like accidentally, like, oops, knock some things on the floor on the other side.
I have a sack!
make a performance check.
That is a good one. That's a natural 18 plus
Charisma bonus plus 2.
6.
Okay, I'll go ahead and roll for
6 plus 2.
No, 4 plus 2.
Got it.
Okay.
So that was a total of 24.
Fantastic.
That's like,
Actually,
Just like that.
some glitter like flies down.
all right. Okay. So you take it looks like a small sack of it looks like rice. It's not, but you knock it out and it falls to the ground there.
Oh,
Not a
my
whole
grandmother's
lot spilled.
ashes!
The boy immediately goes to run over and goes to try to pick it up. And
As he does this, as the boy does this, is he away from the guy?
Oh, the guy's in the back rummaging.
Sure. As he does this,
forward.
I just kind of kneel down, kind of trying to scoop up the ashes as well, kind of to distract him,
They're not ashes.
or whatever. It is.
Okay, he doesn't know.
I
To help
imagine
the
it was
little boy?
fake at whatever.
Sure.
So I'm kind of down and scraping things up, and then all of a sudden I slyly throw a gold coin on the ground,
Oh.
like a piece of gold, and I go, "Oh, did you drop this?" The boy.
And he goes to look at his pockets. I don't.
I think you did. You've been working hard, and he keeps showing you this is what you deserve.
Just be thankful he didn't throw it at you.
And I
Nod.
Yeah.
A weak nod. He immediately pockets it, and at this moment, the guy comes back around. What happened?
Sorry, I had a little bit of an accident. It's all good. Your boy was a wonderful help. He helped me clean up all the mess, and
Trixie takes. Now, I assume that you wanted the antitoxin.
I think the thing that
Hell
the
yeah,
thing
take the
that, yes,
antitoxin.
okay, all right.
She manages to take that with a really good roll and a poor roll on his the merchant's end.
Good
you
job,
guys-
Trixie.
You talk like she's dead.
Rest in peace.
And the guy also comes back, goes to the front and starts helping you. He goes, "Oh, what happened here? What?"
So my friend is clumsy. He was bumped by my other friend here.
No,
and he
no
dropped
worries.
his thing. It's
Yeah,
fine.
she's 7
Listen,
feet
though,
tall.
I
It
do-
happens a lot.
We are in a bit of a rush. Did you have the squad route?
Yes, I do right here in my hand. So he
Fantastic.
puts it
How
right
much
next
is
to the
that?
quiver root.
Yeah, I just quickly.
Both will be 7 gold.
7 altogether.
Grandma, I'm so sorry. I
Thank you so
never
much.
meant to do that.
And I hand him the 7 gold, and I go, "Thank you, sir. I appreciate your expertise on all things herbatry." Little joke for us herbalists. We will see you on the morrow.
Sure.
And I just leave.
He finishes kind of pouching the the rest of the,
Sure.
the stuff there. Little boy is as you leave, he's a lot happier. And yeah, you guys continue on into the bazaar there. Eventually, coming up to a
Very, very slyly, I'm gonna do like my behind the back, like cool little like high five with Trixie.
yeah.
Good job. You did good.
She will actually keep it on her person.
That'll do, pig. That'll do.
That'll do. She's
Now,
gonna kill me.
the rest of you don't know this too, though. So just keep that in mind. You guys didn't see that happen.
Sure. Yeah. Of course.
I'm going to look for something that could be a bargaining tool. That means a
In
bargaining.
the pocket? In the pocket?
No,
No,
in the bazaar.
in the bazaar to bargain with the goblins.
Okay.
Depending on the tribe.
You don't know what tribe they are, but there are many things that one could bargain with. The thing is, you're not sure if you're dealing with one goblin necessarily, or many of them.
Multiple.
Yeah.
Do goblins value
Some
material
do.
It
things?
depends.
Some do.
Depends on the tribe.
Some do.
Mountainous goblins? Do you know about mountainous goblins?
Some like the land. Some value the land more than monetary value or possessions and stuff like that. So.
Gotcha.
And
Okay, cool. Alright, well.
I'm just sort of following Highlander around, and I'm letting her tell me a little bit about the goblin thing.
Well, some of them value land, and some of them value gold, and it really just depends on which tribe we are dealing with, or if we're even dealing with a tribe. It could be just a handful of goblins.
Yeah.
So,
Do you know what we're doing inside this mountain?
I'm glad somebody asked it.
well, it seemed to me
Did they tell us
they
We're
have.
finding a stream.
We're trying to find the underground stream and find out why it's not flowing, and they believe it's goblins. So if that's what we're dealing with,
I'm not saying it's goblins,
Right.
but
but it's goblins.
It could just be a blockage or something.
It could very
With
well
some
just be a
straw.
blockage. I'm
The
just trying to
mountain
be prepared. Should we
Right,
should we
yeah.
run into a tribe who happens
Right.
to value something shiny,
We'll have something.
plenty
we'll
of
have something to
those.
offer to them to hopefully convince them to move along and let the river flow.
Okay.
you hear one of the local booths there. The guy merchant pops up and goes, "You, my friend, come over, come closer, come.
Oh yeah,
I have
demonstration.
wares. Yes. Oh, you, come on, come closer. I
it's
have."
the prince from Nigeria.
Yeah.
I finally found him. My $20,000.
Do you have a bank account? I
Yeah,
can
yeah.
give you 20,000 rupees. He's very, obviously very boisterous. Oh, you, come.
Yes,
What do you need? I have what you have. I have what you need. I mean,
You have a parasol?
You have a heart? Sorry.
I'm sure we can make one. Hold on, just a moment. And he goes.
Make one. Wait a second. I don't know about making one. I was
He
hoping-
pulls up a stick and kind of like you see him do a little bit of a magic ritual. And oh no, okay, hold on. Gets another stick and tries to do the same thing and look, hold on. I'll keep looking. Do you guys? What do you want? You there? No, nothing. You
The
you-
secret to a woman's heart.
don't have that.
Okay.
I'll be right back. Hold on. More sticks. Yes.
Aw.
And he grabs a bunch of more just random sticks, and you don't know really what he's doing. He seems to kind of like mend.
He's
few
trying to
things.
like mend things together.
Maybe, but hoping that somehow they're skewed in such a way that they would.
You know what?
produce
Honestly, I was looking for designer brands, so I'm sorry. Not that I mean to offend at all.
I see you. I see what you were looking for.
Yes.
Just a moment. He pulls up from underneath.
Spear's gonna reach in his pants.
Yeah. A parasol.
Whoa.
There might be a
Who did
language
this?
barrier
So
here.
that's why I was like,
Pulls underneath the counter a wonderful parasol. It looks nice. Is this what you're looking for?
Jingly.
All right.
What's your
First of
nickname?
all, I just want to make sure. Do I know if this is a knockoff brand?
Oh,
Go ahead and
God.
make a investigation.
Okay. All right.
This is Chinatown in New York City.
Knockoff Fiachi parasol.
it's the garment district.
Yeah, that's gonna be a investigation. That's an 11. So.
It looks like it's actually made out of a nice silk on the front there.
Ooh, I like silk. Okay.
The
All right.
little mechanism at the top is made out of a few little metal rings, and the
What
rest are like
color?
bamboo.
This is the deciding factor. What colors?
It's
is
a
the
deep red.
Ooh. Yeah,
That's
definitely
and-
something
and
that makes you
gold
stand out in the mountains.
accents.
Gold accents.
Yeah.
That's a tricky color. You can pull it off, Jingles.
Oh.
You can pull this one off. Nobody else
You
can
think
pull
so?
it off. You could.
I
My
could.
friend,
I look amazing
this
on you.
screams you. What is your name?
Yes, I agree. With
You
this
can
one.
call me Mr. Jingles. I'm
This
a.
screams Mr. Jingles.
It does. I agree. What do you think, you guys?
And how much would you be asking for
Yes.
this beautiful little parasol?
15 silver, just for you.
That's a steal,
That's
Mr. Jingles. An absolute steal.
It's
You
made of
know,
the finest silks.
The finest, he says.
on.
Can I touch it?
Yeah, he goes and it feels nice.
Okay, well, if she gets to do it, then I will.
Am I right, my friend?
Okay, all right.
It's like stroking a kitten.
You win this day, my friend. You win this day. Take my money.
He puts his head
Then I.
up.
You're welcome!
Take my money.
He seems to stop all the coins from going everywhere, and they kind of coalesce into one area, and he just grabs it and he goes, "You earned it. It's so you."
Well done.
Well,
Anything
I
else? Anything
guess
else?
it
Hi,
is.
my lady, what can I help?
Possibly something to entice a goblin?
Don't. Not like that. Not like that. It's.
Oh, okay.
Definitely
He puts
like
something-
that.
he puts-
No, definitely like that. Absolutely, 100%.
You
Yep.
were
Oh.
searching
No.
for the key to a woman's heart. Again, I wonder what you're asking.
I was asking for a friend. This is a completely separate matter. She's absolutely looking for that.
No, I mean,
Could work. Different tribes like different things, but all goblins love a beautiful brawny woman. Yes, so let's go ahead and.
What is
She's not hiding
box.
his deal.
Doesn't matter.
He pulls out a box. He opens it up. Within it is a marble, kind of like a eagle statue, about maybe that big. Beautiful, and the box itself is really well done. It's ornate. Has a few gold inlay workings on the edges there that kind of border the lid.
can you tell me the history of this piece?
I can. This statue comes from far away, off into Alta. And you can see him kind of working the story here. He doesn't really know where it comes from, but it belonged to a sultan. He was
There
very.
were sultans in Alta?
Oh, of course, a long time ago. Of course. Do you not know the history of Alta?
Do you not
I
know the
know-
history of Alta?
I am listening with
wait, do
bated
I-
breath.
Wait, do I know the history of Alta?
You probably wouldn't. You traveled. You traveled most of the western regions
Okay.
of Tremahia, not so much
Okay.
the furthest west. It's also a barren desert, so not very many folks like to travel there anyway. It's kind of barren.
But would there have been like marvelous kingdoms there in the past, or?
Oh, marvelous, absolutely. They're sultans. They were sultans.
I know. That's why it's marvelous.
You know that there actually are kind of a sultan type of regime. There's kind of a
Okay.
caste system there.
Sure, sure.
Their own regions and whatnot. There are kings as well.
Okay.
There are principalities and that kind of thing. It's very, very, even though there's not a whole lot to offer trade-wise or resource-wise, they do mine a lot, and they're able to produce a lot of the gems and gold
Sure.
for most of the region in general. And that's enough of what they have can trade outward for other supplies and whatnot.
So, about this statue, though.
Yes, I know. Right? And he goes to look it up. He tries to catch the light, and it almost extends
Sure.
out.
It
Is
is.
there anything about the statue that maybe I would recognize if it were actually like
Make
not
an
like a knockoff relic?
investigation.
Okay. That sucks. It is. I mean,
As far as you're concerned, it looks really nice. It's
Okay.
got. I mean, you go to touch it, and it's got heft to it. It's weighted, so it is the marble that you are looking for.
This statue will win the favor of a goblin?
Well, I mean, you win the favor of a heart of a goblin. Yes, isn't that what you're looking for?
Absolutely, I just don't understand.
the heart, not so much,
Yeah.
just more of a persuasion tactic.
This, you might be able to
You've
persuade
Goblins.
already played Wingman once.
I'm not
today.
trying to get her laid by a goblin. I'm just saying that this might be
I
a.
think you
No,
are. I
this
think
might
that's
be
what
a
you're doing.
more. If you're listen, if you're trying, we don't know what tribe this is of the goblin.
What's
This
the worst we know?
no. This is okay. This is wait. This is out of character. I just want to explain my plan. We don't know what tribe of goblin we are trying to persuade.
Correct.
So why not get something that will win the heart of any goblin, so that if need be, we talk to the
That
chief.
is so sexist.
You know,
It's not sexist. I'm just saying who don't like roses. You know what I'm saying?
I know. I I get what you're saying. Okay,
Right.
So
We don't know the tribe, but we do know that they all might fancy this thing. I say
Okay.
goblin. I didn't specify a tribe, so he seems to know
Okay.
his things. He's the new Sultan in Alta. How can we not believe this
Of
gentleman?
course not, right?
So
So-
this thing is a marble eagle statue.
Mhm.
Supposedly came from a sultan in Alta. Okay.
And it can win the heart of the
How
goblin.
much is it?
3 gold.
3. Well, done. Okay.
We are
Now
at the
about
flea
more,
market today.
So I look at him and I do want one thing. We do have to get on our way though, so if you could
Yeah,
you
we
could
don't
just
even know.
cut to the chase. I want to know, you seem to be a magic user, is that correct?
Oh, well, I dabble in the arts, yes, yes.
You dabble in the arts. Well, you seem to be carrying a lot of exotic wares. I want to know, what is your specialty?
Oh, well, I mean, I dabble in a little bit of the magics, but as you can kind of see, he points to the poorly done mending job on a few of these sticks that he somehow altered the magic to try to get to turn into parasols, and it's a few of them kind of took.
Sure.
They have like the skeletal structure. You can kind of see maybe a couple of the pylons there are missing, but for the most part, he's trying to. It's more of a flash thing.
Sure.
I
So
like it.
I
He
look-
seems legit.
I look at him and I say, well, you asked me what I want earlier.
Yes,
I want your best item.
my best item.
One that you think is the most precious to you.
You can see him kind of like playing around with the ring on his finger as he kind of thinks. He's got a few rings. Almost every single one has
Sure.
at least one, including his thumbs.
Sure.
The few in the middle have 2.
Yeah,
They actually
life
they're
goals.
attached to like a chain.
Sure, sure,
How many does Jingles have?
And
Not enough.
you can see him kind of playing around with the ring, and I don't think I would part with it. But
By
Not even to save children and kittens.
I don't care for kittens. But why?
like children. Why save children? They're weak.
Who doesn't like kittens?
Earlier you mentioned the goblins. Why kittens now? I don't.
He
He's
wants it.
Jingles.
He's looking for a parasol. Can we just? This is something.
I have a
completely different.
parasol, thank you very
Yes.
much. I have a beautiful parasol.
He just wants rings now.
I'm just spinning it.
He pulls out a rock from his pocket. It's to the rest of you. It is it's got an opalescence to it, and it kind of gleams a little bit of a blue to it, a blue hue to it. It just appears as a rock.
Rocking, right.
Yeah, just a weird, roughly shaped rock. Doesn't even seem to be smoothed out in any area. 500 gold will get you this item.
What? What is it?
That's
I look
more
at him and I
expensive
go,
than my rug.
It is a piece of rough hewn bluestone. And you know this to be very, very valuable item.
That is catching my attention.
So
what
wait,
now?
then I would feel this.
No.
No, I
You
don't.
don't feel this now.
Oh, okay.
A bluestone, you say?
We're looking at it.
It's very opalescent, and you can see as the light catches it, it kind of gleams every now and then.
I appreciate the theatrics. I'm somewhat of a performer myself, but clearly that's a rock.
What do you
No,
think about this?
It is not just a rock, and he puts it back in
I
his
know.
pocket.
So my friend is not quite as familiar with the bluestone as you say. I, however, and I would like to conjure a little bit of blue flame in the palm of my hand. I happen to know a little something about it.
Interesting.
I go, and I immediately, I look at Jingles and go, Jingles,
Snuff.
he's trying to play you for 500 gold. It's a rock. And then you kind of notice I do a signal to you.
Pinches my ass. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
No. I just do a signal that's like, it's very subtle that this gentleman wouldn't necessarily see. But I just kind of like, I go, and right. So I go, he's trying to rob you 500 gold for a blue rock.
Well, I feel like maybe there's only one way to, see if maybe it is worth our time. I can...
Sounds like you're wasting your time to me, but do what you must. I thought I asked you for your most finest ware and you produce a rock?
It's not just any rock.
Then enlighten me, please. I'm all ears.
Do you not know the blue stone? The blue stone.
I know of the color blue and I know of stones, but this blue stone business.
They say It was created long, long ago. A formation caused by a collision of a comet to our very realm, many eons ago. This is all that's left over from its powerful magic. This is the same magic that allows you and I to live. It is the same magic that allows him to produce that blue flame. It is no ordinary rock. He puts it back down in his pouch again. I think we are done here. Non-believer.
Wait a minute. This blue magic you speak of, is there a certain kind of essence or feeling that comes off of it when it's around?
Are you just talking to the dungeon master now?
Yeah. No, I'm talking to the guy.
Sometimes yes, but sometimes it needs a little bit more coercion. Sometimes it needs a little bit more essence from those that can wield the power to bring out its true strength.
Because as I said before, as you can plainly see, I wish not to see. But I have definitely felt this blue magic you speak of. However, the reason I am doubting you is because that rock does not give me the same feeling. So how can I be sure that you are true?
Because it is a rough hewn blue stone.
And this is valuable.
Because it can be transformed by the right type of person.
Into what?
Jingles. I care not for material things.
I, however,
But do you know of the stone? Does he speak the truth of it?
So, this is Dungeon Master.
Mm-hmm.
How much do I understand? Because I felt as soon as he pulls it out, I feel like there's definitely some sort of connection there. But I don't know how much of it I necessarily understand.
Make a history check. Just or intelligence check. We'll do that.
16 plus, I think it's a 3.
Okay.
Plus 3. 16. No,
Right.
plus 2. Plus 2. 7. 18.
You,
I can math.
You, in your travels, you have seen the blue stone and the blue crystal. You know of its power, and even though technically this particular piece that he held up doesn't seem to produce any kind of aura or magical presence, you know that it can be in a certain type of ritual produced into something more. It can basically transform into much like a sorcerer's stone kind of thing.
Gotcha.
The ability to do other more powerful magic. Now you can tell by his general lowly practitioner abilities that he's probably not able to do so.
Yeah.
But he saw in you that spark, that ability to harness the blue energy, the blue magic. And so therefore you think that maybe this is actually what he's talking about. You're trained to recognize the blue stone.
Right.
Would you be willing to trade?
No.
I
You
think-
didn't ask what I would trade for.
He's gonna
Don
offer
Ash.
him Highland egg.
Don Ash, you're not selling
one
Highland Egg.
night with Highland
We've
egg.
sold her to enough people at this point.
I'm not a sex trafficker.
But no.
Jesus.
Don Ash,
Again, you guys don't know what I'm offering.
Don Ash, if you please, sir.
I
don't.
immediately produce a massive diamond out of my backpack.
Oh,
His
yeah,
eyes widen.
he's been holding that forever. Oh.
This is straight from a necromancer's crypt.
Necromancer.
Yes.
My God. How did you get it from him?
We killed him.
You killed a necromancer.
Yes.
Did you not hear of the little girl that was saved in XX city? I say it correctly. I don't remember the city's name.
Actually, the word would spread to Quintessa itself, so
Exactly. So he would know.
he kind of like writes himself.
You have. I can tell. That was us. And this is that necromancer's diamond.
Don Ash, maybe that's
you
a
can see him-
steep trade.
You can see him
Just
clutching
saying.
the blue stone.
Donash,
I am quite fond of it. Jingles, I am doing business, sir. Would you please?
Donash, that is something that we worked hard for, and now Jingles pinches your ass.
I wish I had that scroll. I can't tell you what I'm planning, but I wish I had that scroll. And I look at it and I go, you know, I did grow quite fond of it. I do polish it every night. I try to keep it nice and shiny, as you can see.
The glint, kind of goes across his face.
I am willing to part with it for a blue stone.
Only
if it's exactly what you say it is.
I feel like this is something that we should discuss maybe as a group. Maybe just talk about it ahead of time.
I think whoever holds the diamond is the owner of the diamond and can do what he wishes.
How much do you think the diamond is
No
worth?
trade.
Oh.
And why?
It's not worth nearly as much as you think it is.
All right.
This is... Goes to kiss it.
Back to plan B.
This and 100 gold.
Gold matters not.
You just asked for...
It's just the means to pay for the hungry mouths I have.
It's what you asked for. You were willing to part with the stone for 500 gold, and I'm giving you 100 gold plus a massive diamond.
Sir.
No one has to know about this. I don't need a receipt. You can take this right now, here and then.
Donash, I feel...
I put it down on the table, including the 100 gold.
He immediately takes out an eye loop and leans over to the diamond. He just hovers around it.
If you happen to see somebody in there waving at you, just don't worry about them. I'm just kidding. That was a joke. A little jokey joke. Sorry.
He goes back to... his face is really close to it with the eye loop, and he's moving it back and forth. You can see him not touch the diamond itself, though, as he just kind of moves around. It's of good quality. I'll give you that.
It's from a necromancer himself. It's hard to come by. I would be hard pressed to say if you could get a nicer diamond anywhere else.
He puts the blue stone on the table. You come closer. And he lets you borrow the eye loop.
Of course. Yeah, sure.
Stare into this stone. Tell me what you see.
Who's that guy you keep talking about, Donash? Jesus? I'm gonna do it.
It seems to kind of almost go into infinite, just like mirrors and different facets on the inside near the center of the stone, and you almost get entranced into it. It is still a stone.
Guy.
Snap your fingers.
Pinch his butt. He likes that.
There are the multifaceted surface just kind of draws you in towards the center, and you can see blue little sparks kind of just move out and then die down.
And I can't feel any of this?
You actually do, but it's coming more from him.
I'm feeling his arousal?
Something like that, yeah.
Fair enough. You and I are way too close.
We
connected.
really are. We might need a little distance,
right.
buddy. Yeah. So I'm looking into this thing, and I'm feeling all of this around me, and it dies down. When it dies down, what happens?
It doesn't seem like it's any fault or effect from you. It was almost just like a window into the soul of a rock, if you could even fathom that.
Holy fuck.
It's getting deep, guys. Wow. I'm gonna pull back from the loop and kind of blink a little bit and try and shake the bleariness out of my eyes. Yes, thank you. That is absolutely that is bluestone. Yes, that is bluestone.
Well, it's good to know that
200 gold and the diamond.
200.
That is my offer.
Well, I have one more offer for you. I pull out the medallion from Quintessa. I slap down the table. That medallion will open a lot of doors for someone like yourself.
Leans over and he picks up.
And I moved away. I didn't say you could touch it. I will give this to you if you accept the offer and the trade, as it is. 100 gold, 1 diamond,
And the medallion?
and medallion.
Deal. He takes a cloth, puts it around the diamond, and kind of just covers it up. You can see him pull out a large chest from underneath, open that up, and the medallion he'll put around his neck. And he'll even
Suits
get...
you.
Puts it inside though.
It's just
He grabs another smaller, like a washcloth-sized thing. He puts the stone in there, wraps it.
Me. I made the fucking thing.
It is very special.
I can feel it. We just have a good trade. Make sure to polish that every night.
You don't really polish diamonds. I don't know why you did that. That's,
It is a ritual
dumbass.
for my people. Do not insult my culture, sir.
my apologies. I do not know your culture.
And then I look over at Jingles and I go,
that one not subtle at all.
Yeah.
No?
no, I'm just kidding. And so I go, pleasure doing business with you, sir.
Pleasure too. You can see him kind of start moving things and putting them away,
Sir, what is
even in the middle of the day. So now you're about closer to 10 o'clock now.
if I may ask, I'm loving this parasol. It's great. It spins great. May I ask, first of all, just 2 questions. What is your name?
My name is Jedin.
Jaren, like J.
Jedin of the Jade Desert.
Okay, so gotta be a J because it's alliterated. That's great.
Gotta be
Okay.
Jay, because you're Jay.
All right. I just wrote down JJ. Okay, no, I'm just gonna call you JJ. So, a second question: how did you come across that blue stone?
In my many travels, I try to
Surely it is
don't
some.
worry about this.
Surely it is some grand tale.
Not as grand as I'd like it to be. Don't worry about it. It will be in good hands.
Before I leave and I pocket this stone, but right as I pocket it, I kind of look back at it and I go, is there anything I need to know about this?
Not you, him. You'll find out.
Accidentally smudged some ink with my quill.
And I
It's on my
nod to him
finger.
and I just turn around and walk away.
Okay. You can still he's still putting things away. He's packing up. His mule is behind, and he kind of brings it out to the cart. Closing down the shop, taking down the awning, all the fabric that he had laying out.
Yeah, that's a good chunk of money he just made.
We saved
Sorry, DM. I wanted to tell them, but I couldn't. Now
or
I
else
can't. Right.
Did you? Okay.
I hope so.
All right. I'll leave it.
I have you walked away? Have you met me? Have you walked away from the guy? So, can we talk in private? Have you fucking met me? Do you know who you're dealing with right now?
All right, yeah, no, I'm walking up to you.
So I pull you aside and I go, that diamond was worth 250, and I just gave him 100 gold pieces and my medallion. This stone is useless to me. What do you want for it?
You drive hard bargain.
I do. Listen, I'm all for the party, and I knew as soon as he pulled that stone out, the feeling you got. I'm not about to walk away from that. I had a diamond I didn't need.
Well, yes, that was technically supposed to be our diamond, but we can gloss over that.
I found it in a wall. My hand touched it, it went in my purse, and you guys tried to steal it from me.
Damn it, Trixie.
Point stands.
Sorry.
The point stands. This stone seems very valuable to you, and I feel like it can unlock a lot of power with you. I've felt the magic that you've cast before. But I just shit a lot of money for you.
Yes, you did.
But I thought you didn't care about material goods.
I care about
Principles.
jingles. Yes. I care about Pringles. I care about
Pringles.
Pringles. I care about
I hate that
principles.
guy.
I care about principles. The fact of the matter is that this is something useful for you. What do I get in return?
I will give you. And Jingle's gonna think long and hard about this. I will give you one favor. Any size, any time, any place, no questions asked.
Fair enough. But I keep the stone for now.
Fair enough.
We shake hands. Oh, we
We-
shake
yeah,
hands.
we
We
shake-
shake hands.
All right.
Okay.
The deal is done.
We've fed some horses.
Seeds have been sown.
So we found some
All right.
horses?
Yes,
Yes.
we
Oh,
should. I've got
horses
my
are-
parasol.
We go back to the dwarves. They have our horses.
Oh, they
Does it have a
the
pattern
horses?
on it?
Okay.
Does it have a spiral?
Ooh,
Are you gonna be like
Swirly? Yeah, I'm gonna be like Psyduck.
It doesn't have a spiral, but there is a faint golden dragon kind of just painted over.
Oh, nope, that's good enough. I'm
Alright.
cool with
What
that.
happened to the parasol?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, no, every time. I'm just gonna be like opening it dramatically as we walk.
Right. Okay. You
I'm
do
like a peacock.
you head back down, and you can actually see ahead of you, one of the dwarves is actually moving 5 horses. I gotta remember Trixie. Back in your direction.
Sure.
You eventually meet up with the dwarves out there, and you can see a falcon on one of the arms.
Ooh.
Yeah, it appears that they want us to go and get more supplies for them. A couple little trade things. No, not to worry. It'll be later on in the day, and then eventually we'll find the opening of our kingdom. You all up for a little stroll down the park?
Gonna spin my parasol. Yes, I am.
And I just have hand
Nice.
and I go, lead the way.
You guys mount your individual horses,
Yep.
and you can see that they have.
fit on mine?
They knew
Okay.
that you
They
were.
knew.
The poor
You're
horse
riding
is like.
It's a horse of
You're
7 hands for
riding
you.
Yes.
a Clydesdale, large
Nice,
hooved.
nice.
You know, a good
Excellent.
maybe
I feel like a proper knight right now.
almost 6 feet to the shoulder kind of horse. So yeah, it can carry your weight and any other bags that it might that you might want to put on there. The dwarves themselves have now hitched a smaller wagon, again with a lot of crates on it, empty. There's a few that are not. You can't tell what's quite in there. And then they go and mount the horses. They're like little ponies. They're not dwarven horses necessarily, but they have a little bit of the smaller, musculature.
little
to it.
stout.
Yeah, a little stout. You're not quite sure if that was just some kind of weird magic throughout the ages that they kind of bred these horses to be, but
It's like when your dog starts looking more like you and you start looking like your dog, that sort of thing. Yeah.
As you guys make your way out, the falconer there, he'll go and release the falcon. He has written a note on there, and you see the falcon just.
It's just like a little tear. It's
On
not
your-
much.
And you can kind of hear him off in the distance.
Does
kinda
it
just
make the
moving.
falcon noise?
Yes.
Yep.
I look at who is it? Killian?
Kidden has the.
Kidden. I look at Kidden and I go, surely your majestic beast has a name.
Yeah, Amalthea, you really have to get one of those.
Yes, the falcon.
Job.
Job. Yes. I just look at him and I just nod my head and I go, fine name it is. Does he do any tricks?
I mean, he can fetch a rat, but I don't care for rats. So.
Fair enough.
All right. He kind of sails up again, and you guys make your way out towards the eastern side, where there ahead of you there are hills, forests on multiple fronts, and then the mountains off in the far distance. You can kind of see them veer off a little bit off the main path onto a different, it seems like a service road of sorts. It's smaller, and they inform me that they are taking you to a fort, a dwarven, kind of like a compound there meant for trade, where they can barter for other supplies and whatnot as they take that back into their kingdom. while there, you can see them trading now. They open one of the crates, trading large ingots of steel and iron and various other metals and even sacks of coal as they produce that, and each in return get food and other supplies, because you can imagine dwarves don't really have food sources down underneath the mountain, so they're able to now haul all these different grains,
ingots of steel and what?
Ingots of steel and coal and iron, various things that the mountain can produce.
Okay. Not necessarily things that bandits would be interested in.
I mean,
ingots of steel go for a high price.
They're pretty high prices, especially this kind of dwarven steel. It's very well made. Even in the rough ingot form, you can tell that they have taken care, that they produce the finest of steels.
Can I kind of, do I need to do a perception check, or can I kind of like notice that these 5 dwarves can handle themselves in a fight?
Make an investigation check.
Because we might need to be fucking investigation.
Security.
Yeah. Because now we're a whole different job at this point. Yeah, it's a 13.
Okay, you can tell that they're probably, they don't seem to have any weapons on them other than their pixes, their pickaxes.
Pixes.
Pixes. And then I get it.
They're like pickaxes. Maybe a few of them have small hatchets with them, but nothing very large. No swords. A few of them have mattocks for mining, for crushing rocks. And
do I notice the way they move though? Is it kind of like a natural grace of a fighter? Like, is there any kind of, do I sense any of that?
They're very,
they're very,
well, you know, like,
they're very stout in nature, and most of them seem to be, you know.
But like, are they like? Can I tell that they're like usually on balance, or like they kind of just shift all over the place?
No, they have muscle for mining. They're not necessarily a fighter.
All right,
I feel like they could brawl.
That's the thing, is they can totally brawl.
Sure. I pull. I guess
like if we get in a scrap with bandits, if we get in a scrap with bandits, they're gonna be alright.
Sure. I kind of I guess I don't know what our writing order is, but I'll just go ahead and I'll be next.
Go ahead and give me your writing order.
I would say I'm in the middle. I'm not in the front. I mean, are we going 2 by 2 by 2 and then the carriage?
Whatever you want. The carriage is at a certain spot. You can.
I'm behind the carriage,
right,
away from the dwarves with my party.
Okay.
I probably would be bringing up their rear.
Alrighty.
So I'm with you.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. You said middle though.
Yeah. I don't know.
Middle.
Depends on where you guys are.
Just in front of Highland. I'll do that.
So I just kind of pull on the reins and I look over to Highland and I go.
I'll have you guys in front.
Yeah, I don't mind being out in front.
Okay. Would I be able to stow away onto the back of the carriage with my parasol?
But your poor horse.
Oh, he's just like walking beside
he
us.
can walk next to us.
I mean, if you ask one of the dwarves to do that, they will hitch the horse onto the wagon, behind the wagon, so you can sit on the edge there. You can probably move the crates around.
Yeah,
you don't want to ride majestically through the forest like Lady Godiva.
Yeah, with your side saddle.
You can side saddle.
You can totally side saddle.
Oh,
so
peer
sexy.
pressure.
You look
Oh,
so
peer
sex.
pressure. Okay, all right. Yeah, I'm gonna Godiva it through the forest.
Okay.
My parasol.
Lady Godiva. Oh, that's
Although you
not
have to be naked.
Yes.
That's for episode 3.
Okay. That's for after hours episode.
So I pull on the reins. I kind of get next to Highland and I look over and I go, "You do know what they're stowing, right?
Indeed.
Could fetch a fair price and might put us in danger. We do have a half day's ride ahead of us."
And we also have weapons.
Right. We're not signed on for this.
Do you want to talk to Kieran about this?
I pulled back to see what your wisdom held.
They've obviously taken this route plenty of times. They are brawny dwarves. I am sure that were there dangers going from here to the mine, they would have disclosed those in the beginning. They weren't hiring us for our brawn. They were hiring us to help out with this stream. So my wisdom says that they know what dangers lies between here and the mine, and that we should trust them.
And trust them I do. But my mind is foggy from the night before, and I don't even really know exactly why we're doing this. Did they offer payment of any sort?
They did.
And that was?
My mind's a bit foggy as well. I do remember there being payment.
Well, unless anyone wants to speak up, and I trust your wisdom. I always have.
Thank you.
It's like a 16 modifier or something, or 16, like a 16 or something like that.
16 modifier would be
That'd
very
be really nice.
You do always usually have a fine compass for judgment, so
Well, thank you, Donish.
I will keep my mouth shut then, and if we run into trouble, I will look at you knowingly with the gesture of "I told you so." But until then,
I have my base.
and I have your back,
Literally.
and
As
I
you
pull
have-
back further.
As you have jumped off of it many times, you have my back.
So I don't say anything to the dwarves, and I just trust her judgment on that. I really don't know what the fuck the payment of this job is. All I know is that we were ready for
I remember
adventure.
I
there
feel
was-
like
I don't think
there's
we
going to be some negotiation.
I don't think that we got to the specifics of the payment.
We
it was just
didn't.
mentioned that there
It
was
was like, we
But
can
now-
compensate you.
But now we are an escort. Just
we
saying.
probably should have taken care of that.
If
at
it
the
happens,
beginning.
but that's the thing. It's always better to use the guilt trip after. Like if
Is
somebody
it?
pops up, somebody pops up, and something happens,
yeah.
and
Somebody
you're just
I was
like,
like, born and raised Catholic, so I understand completely.
I'm a Jewish mother.
Okay, so
Hi, Adam's mom.
so we continue, and we don't say anything to dwarves besides idle talk and whatnot.
Okay, and they'll actually go ahead and talk to you about the surrounding area, and that they're about to, as you can hear distant thunder rolling in. The clouds seem to be off in the
I have a parasol. I'm good.
The clouds are off in the north at this moment, so that they don't seem to be anywhere near you. They're not going to be any kind of hindrance. The ground, even though still wet, is not going to be also another hindrance on you.
Sure.
You think that it's just going to be fine. It's not going to be a big problem.
We think.
Yeah. One of the dwarves will talk to you about the bridge that they built off in the distance. You kind of see off in the far off distance there is what looks to be like a wooden bridge, but he goes on to say that he didn't know. A long time ago, we built this bridge, but we didn't really know how to build a bridge out of metal. So we
you really know how to inspire confidence.
So
we're about to ride over this bridge that
Yeah,
we didn't.
like
No.
17.
It's solid. My point is that we didn't know how to build a metal bridge, so we built it like the wooden ones, and we overbuilt it, give or take.
Oh, so it's extra solid.
Oh yeah.
Then we're good. We're good.
And as you continue to talk about the different types of metals used in it, and you bore in your mind.
I was gonna say, kind of tune it out a little bit.
And you do come across this bridge, and it is beefy. It is like, almost like steel I-beams just going every which way, unnecessarily so. You make your way over it, clack, 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 clack on the metal beams on the bottom. Even those themselves are metal.
This thing hasn't sunk into the river yet?
No, it's well built. It's over 150. So if my mind's foggy.
Wait, I'm sorry. Is this a bridge over a chasm or a river?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a chasm. Okay. All right.
Yeah. We were talking about maybe like a 200-foot drop or so.
Damn, that's a
Oh,
good
that's
drop.
enough for me.
But
Let's
there's.
stay solid.
Yeah, that parasol ain't gonna stop your fall there.
But he also goes on to mention that this road is technically the fastest one, and so that's why you
Sure.
go ahead and take it. At this moment, you hear a noise underneath the bridge, and you're not quite sure what it is. You can kind of hear, other than the clanking of the wagon wheels and the horse hooves against the metal plates in the bottom, you can hear something else kind of stirring around, and you hear one of the dwarves kind of like, he kind of slows down his horse.
Well,
over
don't
toward the
stop
wagon.
here. No, don't stop here. This is all the bad
He's
movies.
slowing down to where the wagon is.
Okay.
And he kind of hops on. He sees you there. Oh, hey. Don't worry. He grabs a giant chunk of meat. You can see him go. Just stay here. It'll be fine. And he throws it off onto the bridge. You guys see now a giant chunk of meat. It looks like basically half of a cow is now on the side of the road, just laying there. It's not bleeding. It has been cured for a little bit, but it's now just laying on the bridge there. You can see you two see a large kind of like fuzzy hand kind of peer up over or not peer up, but grab onto the lower panels there. You see another one kind of grab up, and you see two fuzzy ears as you're not really sure actually. You may have not seen this creature before, but it has looks like a weird stout wolf head as it kind of peers up, and it noses you, but then kind of like it's maybe not too sure of everything. The wagon continues to move on.
How's the horse? My horse.
It doesn't seem to have noticed it. It's kind of moving along, and it's now near the position where the meat is, and you guys continue moving on.
Rodin.
So sorry.
No. You can kind of see him. He's in the wagon now.
Do they throw the meat behind us or in front of us?
To the side of the wagon, and they just left it there, and you guys are now moving to the side, and you guys seem to.
Do they see this? Because we're in the rear.
He does, because he was on the wagon.
So he
Amalthea
followed
and
the
Trixie
meat.
probably don't see this. You can go make a perception check to see if you
notice
notice
the
the fact that he did throw the.
You're pretty perceptive.
I was gonna say I'm very perceptive. Oh, not that perceptive. Not today.
It's still the ale.
It's the love.
It's
I'm
the love in the ale.
Yeah, you're blinded by
You got
love.
a 14.
The
Okay.
lust.
You did hear the slap of the meat onto the boards there, and you just you maybe glanced over a little bit, and you notice that there is a giant chunk of meat, giant slab of this basically half cut of a cow on the side of the bridge there. No one seems to have noticed or done too much about it, other than those two kind of just what the hell. And
do I see the creature?
yeah, you can at this point now begin to kind of see this creature kind of hovering on the side of the bridge there, and he's kind of like
this.
How large is it?
It's pretty large. I would say it's a medium to large size creature from what you can tell, just based on the size of his head.
I definitely
like
hear
a
the
paw would be as big as my horse.
No, the paw would be as big as
The
torso.
wagon?
the horse's hoof. It's
a
her.
lot
Just a
smaller
regular
than I was
size.
thinking.
Yeah,
me
no.
too. I had the idea.
Like this
Yeah.
giant,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah,
Okay. All right.
I mean, the paw is probably around that big or so. A Clydesdale's hoof is probably right around there or so. So I mean, yeah, it's larger than
Head
your
the size
hands.
of my torso.
Yeah, roughly.
Okay.
I mean, maybe a little smaller, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
All
I'm
right.
just gonna keep writing.
Yeah. You hear
Yeah,
the
I don't
pop
see
of
shit.
of the parasol
Right.
go out as I just kind of keep it like this, and I kind of peer over the top of it.
Do I know what this is being used to animals?
Make an intelligence check.
Oh, fuck yeah, good question. Oh, yeah.
Intelligence. 13.
You think it's a bugbear. It seems a little more timid than most bugbears that you're used to. You wonder why that is. And he has been offered obviously a large slab of meat, potentially maybe to keep this bugbear at
Not
bay.
turn us into
As
a
long as
meat.
it doesn't ask me what my favorite color is, that's fine.
And the wagon continues on. The final two horses make it past the chunk of meat. Probably steer.
I saunter towards Rodin.
Okay.
Is he who threw the meat?
Yeah, he is.
Is he the leader or is Denise the leader?
You're not sure. You're
Okay.
not sure. They seem to be just a band of dwarves.
Sure, okay.
Every now and then one will speak and the other will kind of
So I
talk
pull
and-
my horse into a saunter towards Rodin. I catch up to him and I say, I'm the picture of questions.
Of course. Wait till after the fight.
And I just kind of saunter to him, next to him. Or right alongside him.
Your horse saunters.
Yeah.
So you guys clear the
And
bridge.
then it bows, and then does this thing. No, I'm just kidding.
You guys end up clearing the bridge with no altercations, as he has offered the creature a slab of meat. You're not. He speaks up again and goes, "Listen, it's not often we see these creatures on this bridge, but sometimes they tend to hang around if there's a prize to be caught. This one, I think in particular, has been mistreated by his brethren, so it's easy to offer him a slab of meat and we just go on our way.
It's a common occurrence.
That's the things. I mean,
They just live under the bridge.
no. They live in a cave under the bridge, but they make their way up.
Jesus. Listen, Rosen, I'm not gonna lie to you. Last night's a bit foggy, and we, at least myself, I can't speak for my party, but I feel like I could. I don't think we know exactly what we're getting into. The only thing that we know is that we're going to your mine to find the source of a stream that is ceased to flow, correct?
Yes.
I'm not
You will talk to our overseer, and he will probably direct you to the correct person to talk to.
right, Roland,
Maybe the king
but
himself.
you hired us.
I didn't necessarily hire you.
You
You-
asked us for help, and we obliged. Do not mix words, sir. I am your friend, but
We're
let's...
taking you to the source of the problem. There you will talk to the king, maybe his advisor.
Okay, fair enough, Roland. I'm not trying to be unfair here. I just need to know what else we're going to run to on this road.
No, I understand.
If there are rituals that you often pay, we need to know. Because I will tell you this, and I do lie. I will tell you this. Hylene did ready her mace for whatever the fuck that was.
Right, Rudy. So, I'm sorry. This thing, it's not often it happens, but it does happen. And I mean, every road that you travel is going to have dangers.
Absolutely. Every road is a
Master.
danger. Is there any more that we need to be aware of? Because if so, tell me now so that we can be prepared for it.
None that I can think.
Is this road dangerous? Because I do know that you are carrying quite a hefty price in your wagon.
Oh, the payload's just a few meats and supplies for...
You have steel ingots.
Sure. Yeah, we do.
And I know exactly how much those fetch for a price. Is this road dangerous? Do we need to be on our
No, your
best
master.
lookout?
We'll be fine. From here on out, we're very close.
Fair enough.
And he actually points over to where now the mountain has gotten a lot larger. Your travels.
I do apologize. I'm just trying to be extremely cautious, for I do not want to be bleeding today.
I don't think you will. You all seem very hardly lot.
Fair enough, brother. Well met. Lead the way.
All right, so he has back on, hops onto his horse, and he looks at you as a. You okay?
This goddamn road.
Oh yeah, no, I'm good.
He kind of like.
Whoa.
Well, your horse kind of like wants to, but then you kind of stay the reins a little bit, pull it back.
We're still taking it nice and easy. We're letting everybody look.
And you guys make your way past a few more.
And I now come back towards Hylene. And as we're about to approach whatever the mountain, I just look at her and I go, seems like we're safe for the rest of the way, but we do need to speak with whoever's the leader of this band and get clarification, because Roland doesn't seem to know exactly what we're doing here.
That'd be a good idea. We're going to their king, correct?
Overseer, tribe leader, or something.
Fair enough. Well, we will figure this out when we get there then. Until then, my mace is ready just in case.
Who else is at the front while we're riding?
You have Denise and I think
I
Tarin,
don't know why that makes me laugh so
I
hard,
love
but
it. I
yeah.
love it.
and they're both kind of chit chatting, and probably you can probably hear them talk about the bugbear that was on the bridge there.
I'm gonna come a little bit closer.
Sorry.
I'm gonna first see if I can just overhear that conversation a little bit.
Make a investigation.
I'm going to nod off my horse, but we're good about it.
They seem to notice you, and they kind of die down for a little bit, just to kind of like take notice, and then when they continue back with their conversation, they just spoke a little bit. They actually their conversation seems to have changed to the road ahead and how close the opening of the mine is, and they kind of like lean their heads over to where you are, so that you can hear it as well, and then you can see them point off in the distance.
Cool. Hey, you guys.
Hi, how are you?
Good. I was just wondering how close we are.
Oh, not far. Maybe less than 40 minutes or so.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll be shortly there.
Yeah, so that'll be the entrance to the mine
Yes.
in
Yes.
40 minutes. And then we see the overseer.
The kingdom of Dazarun.
Okay, cool. So what kind of others? I noticed that, is it a bugbear back there?
Yeah.
Is there a lot of them
sometimes
around?
they come in, and they're hungry sometimes. This one wasn't. Don't worry about this one.
They're quite
He's
friendly?
no, not friendly at all. But this one seems to be a little more shy than the rest.
Okay. And they come into the mountain too, or do they stay out?
No, not into the mountain.
Right.
We are heavily guarded at the mountain.
Okay.
For sure.
Cool.
Yes. Is there anything else?
No, I'm just I'm excited about this adventure.
Oh, okay.
Do you have any more information about the river that we're gonna be?
Well,
looking at?
you see, the mountain produces a lot of resources for us. Not food, unfortunately, so we have to trade.
Right.
But the water does provide a lot of usefulness
Sure.
as far as our forages go. We have other mills that grind down the coal and refine it a little bit more. Then we also use the coal for the forages as well. So yeah, just a little bit of a.
So how long ago did it stop?
It's been, I think, about 2 or so weeks.
Did you notice anything else unusual in that?
Well, a few people have been disappearing off into the distance of the mine, but we tend to hold people back from going too deep. We have only an area now that we are mining. We found a good vein of this iron ore, and we're able to grab it and mine it and smelt it down. The coal goes up to a different vein, but for the most part, we were just we tend
So
to.
you think people went missing that?
Possibly.
And that has something to do with this stream?
They went to go investigate themselves. Yeah, and we're
They
not
never
sure.
came back.
They have not. No. But these are.
I'm not there.
These are the type of dwarves that are not necessarily ready and hardy for this type of adventure. But we saw that in you, that you're able to. I mean, you not the 5 that helped the girl.
Yes. Yeah.
Also, we thought maybe you
Yeah,
could
we're
help
quite.
us.
We got some skills. I think. Right. Well, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And you guys make it finally to the entrance of Dozarun, and you are greeted by a lot of guards, and you guys are well, greeted as in you're welcome. There's a lot of guards at the station there, and they notice the contingent of dwarves that you guys were riding with, and are able to pass through with no cause or anything, just allowed in. They do kind of look you over to kind of make sure that you are not necessarily a seedy bunch. They may.
Do they like my parasol?
They don't really notice that so much as that they're kind of like eyeing Trixie a little bit with her dark robes and.
All right, guys.
50.
Yeah. Just letting you know, she's with me. She's cool. So keep your hands to yourselves.
All of
Eyes
these,
up here.
All of these dwarves are taller than the rest of the dwarves that you've seen so far. Still stout in nature. They're probably around like 5'1" or so.
They're Trixie size.
Yeah. And you can see that they have broad shoulders, thick armor plating, and large, like almost like hand axes, but, that they keep on the side, as well as a shield with a beautiful large gem emblazoned into the face of it.
Damn.
Yeah. Wow. You guys look like you work out.
They turn back and they do their stoic pose. And
Yeah. Friendly bunch.
so as you guys enter the
Yeah, not so
main
much.
entrance to the large mine or the mine kingdom, they pull up to the side there where there's a bunch of stores and whatnot. They're able to load off all of the meats and grains and vegetables that they had bartered for. They unload that. They leave the empty cases where the metal was and leave that there as well. They hop off. They kind of seem to like undo the canvas of the wagon, unhitch their horses and tend to just kind of move off. A few of them kind of like, motion you closer inward, and you guys now see these two large double doors inside of this like mine entrance. They open up slowly out towards you, and you can see large, more dwarven guards pushing the doors out,
Wow.
seemingly welcoming you. And
Like the spectacle. This place knows how to make an entrance.
you can
And
see
blazing
now,
shields.
after these doors open towards you, it is dark beneath you. There are braziers along the way down, but for the most part, it is very, very dark. You can kind of see a glow from where you're at, and there are large stairs that descend down. Probably about 250 of them that descend all the way down into like the
I don't
large
like-
opening.
I don't like dark. So can I would like to kind of snap my fingers, and can I cast light on my parasol,
Okay.
so that my parasol is now glowing?
The very top
The
is
very tip.
emanating. The knob is emanating a little bit of light there.
Perfect.
There is a substantial amount of light around you with these giant braziers. They're billowing this flame, probably good, 3 feet, 4 feet high, and they're on each side every so often, like maybe every 15 feet. There's another a pair on each side. As you continue down, the braziers still are all fully lit, and as you make your way down to the very, very bottom, where it becomes flat now, you guys now see the entire kingdom. Tall ceiling above you, giant pillars, almost every 100 or maybe 80 feet or so, 2 on each side. As they continue on down, you can see a large glow.
Rock on.
You can see over to your right hand side, far off, a large orange glow, and you can hear the sounds of tinging and hammers clanking.
I bet that's the forge.
And you can see, you can still see from right where you're at,
Perception.
Yes.
2 large
Very
wheels, 2 of the
perceptive. You can
3
percept.
large water mills turning. The third one seems to have been stopped, and the off into the wall of this mountain carving, there is 3 slots. 2 of them have water pouring out onto the wheels. The third one has been shut down, and this is, you think, as they were mentioning, to preserve the water pressure of at least the 2 that were still remaining there.
Are
And
we-
the wheels turn slowly.
Are we still riding alongside the party of dwarves?
Yeah, they're kind of like bringing you down. They kind of motioned you over down, so you guys no longer have your horses. They're all hitched up
Sure.
above you as you guys descend your
Make
way
it down,
past
yeah.
the large, huge. I'm talking 50 foot high, 20 feet wide individually. So it's 40 total wide double doors, and you make your way down a series of 250 stairs.
So as we're going down, I kind of look over to who am I closest to? Am I Denise? Gideon?
Probably yeah.
Denise.
Maybe a Rodin. Rodin.
Yeah, we've already established a rapport. I look to Rodin and I go, wow, you guys do know how to introduce your home, so to speak.
That we do, lad. Do you want a malt wine once you get down into the... I know the right place.
Can I hear him say that?
Sure.
Because I will turn
We
around and be like,
were right near that
Okay.
kind of group and everything.
like, I wouldn't mind a mild wine. It sounds delicious.
We brew the best down here.
Nice.
Is there anything you can tell us about the architecture here? How long have you been here?
A very long time, lad. I want to say maybe 1,000 years, maybe more.
1,000 years, you couldn't have invented a slide?
And he points over to the side, and right where the
Oh.
braziers are 2 giant grooves carved on the side there. And you assume that it could be for a runoff of water for when it rains down and doesn't, they don't want it to fill up or go on the stairs themselves, so they have like gutters, if you will.
Does he like just point, or is he like?
He just points.
Would it be completely disrespectful if I was to ride that?
Are you talking to Rodin?
Yes.
Don't, lad.
What?
Don't do it.
No.
Oh.
Why, Rodin? You can't point to that and not expect me to.
Look,
Right,
I
right.
may have done it when I was younger. Don't do it now.
Is it disrespectful?
The king doesn't like it.
He does. My friend, Mr. Jingles, the one with the parasol. You met him. He does have a carpet. would it be completely? I mean, if we were to be completely hushed about it, maybe yourself.
Before we leave this place, we are racing.
Do you say that?
Yes.
And I look at Rodin.
He just kind of like puts his not to hear that at all.
Let's complete the mission first.
Yes, exactly.
And then they will
Find
have us.
something
I don't want to
so
piss off the
much.
king before
That
we
is-
start.
that is
Let's find
our-
something to placate the king.
Yes.
And then you guys can
And
go
then you
down
guys
the
Yes.
can do it
Okay,
because
fine.
we love you so much.
I look at Rodin and I go, fair enough. Thank you for pointing that out. And I hope.
He gives you a weird drunken like wink. He's like.
All right,
the eye
fantastic.
twitch.
Well, since we do have quite a journey before us, and quite a many a step, this king of yours, anything I need to know? Anything we need to know? And I just try to invite everyone to in the conversation.
Yeah, he's very strict.
His name?
His name
That would be nice.
Gamir,
Gamir. King Gamir.
and he
Like a
doesn't
gummy
like
bear.
outsiders so much.
Don't call him Gummy Bear Jingles.
No, don't call him
I
Gummy
will
Bear.
not do such a thing.
Isn't like outsiders. What kind of outsiders specifically?
Like
I mean,
us?
any non-dwarves, to be honest. But if you tell him what you're here for, you'll open an ear.
Also, our reputation has preceded us quite a bit because
That's right.
We destroyed
Yes.
the
But
necromancer.
be aware of his vizier. He doesn't like anyone.
His name?
So the king doesn't like outsiders, the vizier doesn't like anyone. Okay, alright.
Joseph.
Jolly bunch.
Wait, Joseph?
No,
Jones.
Jost.
Yes.
Joss. Yeah, go for it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Now, is there any kind of, forgive me, but I'm not entirely up to speed with dwarf, especially mountain dwarf customs. Is there anything that we need to know before we meet this king? A certain way to act, behave, eye contact,
Is this
bowing?
something that any of us would know?
Bowing. Yeah. Everyone, go ahead and make like a just an intelligence check.
Critical 20.
Yes! Critical 20s.
God damn.
Really?
Critical 20s all around. Don't look at it. Critical 20s.
Just gonna knock this off the table.
What
That was a
Wisdom?
critical
You would
7.
definitely know that
So
any
Was it-
king in general, you
Was
would
it
bow.
intelligence?
It's intelligent.
You
Oh, yes,
specifically would know that
intelligence.
the mountain type of dwarf would probably
We'll-
prefer you
we'll get
to
it from them.
probably bend a knee.
Okay.
Full on one knee on the ground as you kind of
Eye contact, is that important? I mean, not for me, but for everybody else.
Blindfold
they
contact.
tend to
Sure.
they tend to not the kings of mountain kingdoms wouldn't really like a whole lot of eye contact. They,
Sure.
they tend to just kind of they walk over you. It's weird. They have a sense of pride and almost like a godlike stature that they'd like to uphold. And
Is it a kind of an aversion of the eyes, like look away or look at their feet?
just probably kind of look at their feet? Yeah.
All right. So I kind of, I
Just
look at Rodan.
don't look at them in the eyes.
Sure, I look at Rodan and I go, I understand perfectly clear exactly what we need to do with your king. And I look back at the group and I go, deep bow, bend of the knee, look at his feet, not his eyes.
Don't
Understood.
cross the streams.
Don't cross the streams. And do not ask to race until after we've completed the job.
I am
Wait
aware.
until we have something to
Don't
placate.
you worry. I have got
Wait
this
until we
thing
have
all
something to
lined
placate
up.
the king.
Fair enough. So we continue down the stairs.
Okay. You make it fully down to the bottom there, and you can kind of now start to smell the coal that has been refined and also burned for the furnaces and the forges, and it fills the kind of the entire atmosphere with like a very fine fog, and you there are holes in the very top of the ceiling where you can kind of see a little bit of the smoke kind of billow up and kind of spiral up, where you think that those are the vents for
Sure.
the. We don't want to choke everyone out. Over off to your left hand side, you notice a bunch of little shops and like tinkers and tinners, tinsmiths, coppersmiths, and all that. They're kind of like working away, making shoes and making vessels of many different kinds. They're craftsmen, so they have
Sure.
an array of tools around there. And most of them are just busy with their work. Most of them don't even notice that you have arrived in their kingdom. For the most part, a few of the guards are noticing you, but for the most part, they're tending to their work. And
Okay.
you can hear a few, blacksmiths kind of like get up and move over to where you're at and pick up a couple of supplies, and they kind of just like, you know, do a little weird nod and head back to their forges, often to the far right. And I mean, like far right, you guys are probably a good 500 feet away from the forges, but you can still feel the heat emanating from them. They're that large. The 5 that are with you, Rodin speaks up again and goes, this is where we part. We have to get back to work. I'll get my overseer over to you, and maybe he can arrange a meeting with the king or his vizier. Just a moment. He turns around and you see him just kind of spread around. Like you see a few of the two of the pickaxe wielders. They head over to a shaft of some kind. You're not sure. Two of the others, Denise and Kirin, make their way somewhere else, and you see Rodin just walk away over to one of the buildings, the large stone structures that are there. He comes back out, and he kind of like was wandering around, and goes, he hobbles his way back. My overseer, not here. Look, I think you can maybe talk to one of the lead men off into the forges. He might be able to help you out. Just let him know what you're here for, and maybe he can.
Well, Rodin, quick question. The, so to speak, pecking order of your clan, of your tribe. Is this a matter for the king? Is this a matter for the overseer? Like, exactly who is employing us?
It would be the king.
The king. Can we not speak to him?
Not yet. You have to work your way up.
Understood.
And you have to let everyone pretty much know that you're here. You know what I'm saying? So the leadman, he's probably the highest ranking amongst all of us. He'll be your best bet.
His name?
His name, I forget his name. Just head over.
Understood.
You're such a jerk.
Sorry, I'm curious.
Pulling names out of my asses, man.
You know who we're talking to is the lead man. You want to be respectful. All right, so we head over to where he pointed.
So guys, as on our way over, I spoke to Denise and one of the others earlier on our way in, and they said that some of the people who went to investigate the water thingy did go missing.
What?
Ooh.
So they went deep into them to investigate, and they didn't come back. So we got to be a little bit careful and get as much information as we can.
This
going into
is good information because now this might be a search and rescue mission.
Danger might be afoot.
Well, there's definitely danger, but we might be bringing back people alive. Hopefully.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Again, another thing to talk to the king about.
Yes. Can the blue stone help us?
Let's be careful with how we word this.
Right.
I'm
To
trying
the
to
king.
figure out
I
how
will
to
yell
use
as
that
many
thing
expletives
first.
as I can.
This might be more of a question for the overseer. Should we get to talk to him?
Is the overseer?
The overseer
usually-
wasn't around, and
Yeah.
he told you. He pointed you. And now the overseer is just a funny title that he calls his lead man.
I mean,
But
But I mean, as far as, working our way up the chain, this might be... Obviously, this vizier person does not like people. We might not get a good answer out of him, but whoever is below him...
We do need
In
a
the
prod.
pecking
We need a
order.
prod because this mission is becoming increasingly more dangerous.
Is the
this is not exactly what we had accepted.
yeah.
In the first place.
Does the overseer, and maybe we can ask Rodin. Rodin. If the overseer does tend to be missing, because I do feel like, unless he's on his regular lunch break or something like that,
Out whoring for his mid-noon snack. Sorry.
his second lunch, second dinner.
12sies.
11sies.
11sies.
11sies, that's it.
I will point out that it is probably around 3 o'clock when you
It's three
entered
Z's.
the kingdom.
So this is like a typical lunch break, right? This is
Well,
So-
he couldn't find him, so he doesn't know where.
And it's not out of the ordinary.
He doesn't seem to.
Okay,
he
all right.
Like he's not there. And
So then let's go see the leader, the second in command to the overseer.
Yep, let's do it. We'll put on
Or,
a
yeah,
good show.
lead man.
okay. You guys kind of wander over to that direction, and now the heat of the forges is definitely apparent. You guys are almost turning maybe a shoulder just to kind of like avoid the heat. And
Parasol! I'm telling you guys, you're missing out.
I will be removing my helm.
you guys are starting to sweat
I
now.
tighten my blindfold actually.
Okay. You can almost through your eyelids see a glow at this point, much like the sun.
Sure.
It beats down on you.
I'm gonna just kind of prestidigitate her helmet hair. Just put it into just like
Thank you, Jingles.
just make sure everything looks
Keep her
properly
pretty. She's
in
going
its
to
place.
fall in love with the Goblin King.
I never agreed to this.
Oh, you did.
No.
Without words, you
No,
did.
no.
All right, so yeah, let's meet this leader. Yeah.
All right, you guys make your way over there, and all you can hear is the clinking and clanking of the hammers against the steel, and you can see them producing all a bunch of ingots. And
Before we walk up to this, can I perceive? Can I percept to see if we can spot this person out? This lead. This
okay,
lead man.
sure.
That is percept. Yes, obviously. This is a 15.
15. Okay. You can see a table just a little bit of ways from where the forges are and the anvils and all the tools. You can see a bunch of, actually there's a bunch of dwarves there working, and you can see them kind of like looking at the coal and kind of breaking it apart with their rock hammers and whatnot. A few of them off to their side are picking up little gemstones that they found within the rock, and they're examining them, putting them aside, and kind of like categorizing all of that. You can kind of see right where the guys are chipping away at the coal. There's another smaller table where the guy has what looks like a scribe's desk,
A ledger and stuff.
Yeah, kind of. Well, he's got some writing tools on top, but he seems to be eyeing particular ingots for their quality, and he kind of sits them down and picks up the next one and the next. You know, he seems to be randomly picking one off of a batch just to kind of see their quality, just to make sure that everything's up to snuff, and you can probably tell that he is the lead man himself.
Okay. I look over to Hylene and I just kind of like nudge you. Yeah, I nudge her, and I go, seems to be that's. If I had any guess, that's our lead man.
I'd say that's a good guess.
And I think you should approach him first.
Okay.
Dwarves do enjoy strength.
Now that he's gotten you hitched.
No, guys, come on! Stop bastardizing my plans!
We're gonna get Jingles hitched too,
Oh,
right?
no.
Wait a second. Sorry, guys. I am a wild stallion.
You like that?
Shit,
too?
should I send you to this lead man instead?
You like
So
that?
I feel like these mountainous dwarves, especially mountain dwarves, will respect someone of a more beefy nature. And seeing as how Hylene is the most stout and muscular, especially well armored, I feel like you would be the
No,
best
I already
person
wrote
to-
it down.
I feel like you'd
I
be the
know
best
you're
person.
trying to compliment me, but
nature.
man, it so feels like an insult.
It's not an insult. You are a beautiful woman who could kick the shit out of me, and I respect that.
Okay.
Also, they will respect that.
Just take the
And
compliment.
I sort of nudge you towards the leader.
You never realize I will not be pimped, Donash.
I'm not
Understand
pimping
this.
you.
Just understand this.
You
okay.
are a woman of your own desire.
I'm going to say that because dwarves are very blunt, forward, generally probably quite honest people, they will appreciate and understand Hylene's honesty and calm demeanor, and they will be able to relate to that very well. So
Absolutely.
I also think that Hylene speaking to the leader first is a very good idea.
Thank you. And for the record, I only wanted her to get laid. I don't care your libidos in the slightest.
I'm
Everything
excited
is calculated. I swear it. Hylene, high five.
Well, you're not Hylene, but that's
I don't
okay.
know.
Damn it, I'm Althea, high five. Alright. And I slap Hylene on the ass. I go, go get him.
Oh, so close, so close.
Hey, you guys, you know what? You're gonna put me in that box? I'll fucking fit in that box.
What are
we even talking about?
Okay,
Alright, so yeah.
I approach the lead man. Sir,
Oh yes.
You are the lead-
He stands up and kind of
Ah,
like,
see, you were right.
Thank you.
you are the lead man, I presume?
yes. What is this rabble about?
We were hired
Fuck
to
you.
find out what happened to your...
Do you say that audibly?
No, but I look at you guys and I go,
Yeah, we get it. We get it.
We were hired to find out what happened to your stream.
Oh,
And we were supposed to see an overseer, but he is unavailable.
he tends to drink a lot. He pulls down
Yeah, we know the type.
the cover to his scribe, and he puts down the giant bar of ingot
Sure.
steel onto the desk. He looks you all up and down.
I flash him a
And
big smile.
I simply bow against my better judgment for him calling us rabble, but I bow nonetheless.
You can feel him bow back. All right. Well, I'm a bit busy, but he's like kind of like, no, I can use a break. And he takes the entire scribe's desk and just moves it to the side and kind of hoists up a little leather pouch and goes, "You're gonna want to talk to the king and possibly his vizier first."
Only if custom allows.
Yeah, that will probably be the best. And he points up on this huge ledge that you thought was part of the wall of this giant kingdom, but it seems to be another like higher city, probably good like 200 feet above the ground.
We just walked down so many steps.
And you can see him like as he kind of follows
Getting our cardio in today.
and he follows the series of other steps on the far side now, opposite the forge wall now, and you can see them kind of go all the way down into where the tinners and whatnot are, the coppersmiths and whatnot are clinking away, and that seems to be the only way up there. There's a bunch of doors on the bottom of this like square structure, and the whole stonework you can notice now is it's very a drab gray. It's just a drab gray. It's a very
Oh,
drab.
we could do so much with that.
Now, is there a dumbwaiter or some such
No.
contraption? Damn
No,
it.
no. Actually, well, they would have a lot of stuff like that. Yeah, there probably
There's
is
gotta be a
one.
lift
Fantastic.
somewhere. Yeah.
We will take that.
Okay, well, you'll need my clearance. I'll have to go with you.
Oh, then I speak to him. I go. I noticed you looked up towards the cliff there. Is that where your king resides?
Yes.
And albeit for me to ask the question, but I am a bit wary from the travel. Is there any quicker way up there?
And he, kind of rose his shoulders again. He goes, "Yeah, I could use a little break myself. Follow me." And he goes into one of those doors there. You see several contraptions. A few of them are just kind of like loading dock type of swivel arms
Sure.
for various other contraptions and conveyor belts that lead deeper into the building. This is more of a labyrinthine area that you're at now. The walls and the walls themselves are about maybe 5 feet apart, and the floors are kind of shuffling in and out. There's still a lot of movement within these halls now. You make your way down to the edge of one of the halls, and you turn left or turn right. Your left, I guess. And there is a large, like, kind of like an elevator, like a dumbwaiter kind of contraption. There seems to be like, it's not fully well built. You think this is kind of a mine shaft type of apparatus that's just meant to kind of hoist a bunch of supplies and coal up and down, or maybe even like food supplies to the higher levels.
Sure.
But he kind of walks you on there and, "Don't worry, it's strong enough. We'll be fine."
For all
Trust
of
your
us?
judgment.
Oh yes, all of you. And you can see him
That's a question.
pull a couple levers, and then he begins to pull on this chain, and you can see that
Without any just I go and help him. I
Okay,
just go
cool.
and grab and change with him as well.
you notice that as you pull it, there are a series of pulleys from where you're at. There are at least like 5 of them, and you can imagine that they're probably around the same amount up there. You're not making a whole lot of headway actually as you guys hoist up. It takes a very, very slow
Sure,
time. a little
but
bit
I
of
just
long
want to
time.
kind of like make it known
Sure.
that the gesture is there. that
Yep,
I'm
and
willing to-
he sees you and kind of goes in time with like you
Mhm.
grabbing the chain, and he grabs the chain. Shh, shh, shh,
Mhm.
shh. It's still you're moving slowly, but you are moving.
Is there room for a third on the chain?
Yeah, from where you're at, you can probably.
She's 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
Her
Yeah.
arms are like.
Yeah.
So,
Go ahead. All 2 of you make a strength check.
Huh?
Oh yeah, he rolled nice.
Yeah, it's 12.
Put
Okay.
some back into it.
As you
back into
twirl your.
As I twirl my parasol.
Yes, you. Yeah, you tend to make a little bit more headway now. You kind of like noticing that with every like lurch of the chain, the whole platform does raise up a little higher, And you can see that there's sweat dripping off of the dwarf now, which that probably was already to begin with, being so close to the forges.
Is there a way I can kind of just like, I look at him and I go, listen, you said you needed to break. There's more than enough of us to help get us to the top if you want to actually take that break. You seem to have a bit of a soreness in the shoulder.
No, I'll be fine.
Then by all means, and then we all continue.
Okay, cool.
Just I wanted to offer.
After about like maybe 5 minutes or so, you guys make your way to the very top of this area, and you guys exit the apparatus. You can see him kind of lock the same lever and like just basically jam the pulleys together so they don't just automatically fall back down. He seems to even tie a safety chain onto. There's a large post near this the doorway that you're at now.
Apparently they have OSHA too.
He gives you a little wink. And you guys make your way up a series of corridors, and you can kind of tell that the general inclination of the plane that you're at is going up, and you finally crest this hallway, and it opens up now to there are these two large lion type statues facing you with pillars right behind them, and the stonework is immediately changed. There's marble, what seems to be like a golden color, this geometric pattern that goes back and forth. Every now and then there's like a mosaic on the ground itself, and you, for the most part, even though you can't really
You can't
see
it.
it,
but like
you can
feel
feel how awesome
there
it
is
is.
a nice, exactly, yeah. As your footfalls hit the thing, there is a nice crisper sound to your feet. Also, you notice that it's very smooth. As you kind of like put your feet on there, you can kind of like move it around and go, wow, this is nicely, perfectly.
I walk practically
hewn stone.
barefoot anyway, so
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, this I can live with. This I can live with.
And believe it or not, the stone isn't as cold as you might think. There tends to be a little bit a warmer atmosphere because of the forges, because there are so many, and it's producing that much heat. Even still, only at 2/3 capacity, just with the two wheels turning.
okay.
Even from here, from this distance, you can still hear the clanging of the anvils and the large water mill, basically moving the bellows back and forth, up and down, and you can hear the.
I say to the leader.
The leader. Oh, well, he will introduce himself.
Okay.
Armendares.
Amen.
Armendares.
Amen.
Come again?
Amen.
Armendares.
Armendres.
I looked at him and I go, I knew dwarves were quite the craftsmen, but I've always known mountain dwarves to be the most succinct at masonry.
We think so too.
As you can see, barefoot as I am, quite lovely. Thank you. I can only give you my thanks.
I'll give you a little head nod in return. The rest of you notice as you're kind of walking all on this beautiful marble floor with different varying colors. Now there's white, there's almost like a goldish color to a few of the stonework themselves. Not gold necessarily, but a yellowish hue that kind of shimmers a little bit.
Yeah.
Good enough for me.
A few dark onyx black type of stones as well. And again, every now and then the mosaic motifs of different colored stones to kind of make a relief and whatnot. And as you guys continue on, you notice there's a little tiny stream right in the middle of the path. It's just about maybe half a foot in width, just running all along, and the blue stonework underneath that reflects it very, very vividly. It's coming off from one of the walls on this top level now. There's a bunch of buildings, beautifully carved as well. Nice stonework, sharp geometric designs.
Can I run up to the stream and just like dip my toe in?
Jesus Christ.
Just a little bit. Just
That might be insulting depending on the stream.
He doesn't notice you. He's continued to walk.
God,
He just
okay.
walks over.
Jesus Christ.
And,
you can't be dipping toes in streams and you don't know where these waters lead. It could be a holy ritual.
Drinking water.
Yeah, it could be fucking drinking water. Okay.
Smelly toes.
I take very good care of my feet. Thank you very much. Well manicured.
To be
and,
fair, I would drink after Jingle's feet.
it would have
The
the
only
hint of
person in the party
lavender.
I would.
The river actually, a little stream rather, a little tiny channel of water there, also cuts in and around the mosaic
Oh
in
boy,
a
okay.
sharp geometric pattern. you kind of see it go inside a few buildings and kind of come back out again as it leads along. There are also large
Pieces
star-shaped.
of shit inside this. This is their aqueducts.
No, it's very well kept.
And burn the toe.
Pristine water. It does reflect back. For those of you that can't actually see the light reflecting off, now you notice that there is a little bit of a light source, and you guys look up, and there is like these hanging braziers with chain up into the far ceiling above you, and they seem to kind of be maybe a good 50 feet off the ceiling, and they are good at 50 feet off from where you're at right now. They're giving off,
place, yeah.
they're giving off this interesting glow underneath you with your shadow kind of dances around, appears a little bit here and then kind of splashes over there and then moves around as you guys continue to walk around. And he weaves you through these buildings, now starting to get more ornate even than the last, the ones that you were just at. Finally, up against the furthest end of the corner of this like partition, or this like mezzanine, if you will, you see a beautiful building, gorgeous, probably around a good maybe 70 feet tall, and large golden archway that leads
I
you.
immediately get behind Hylene and push her to the front, and I motion everybody else like. And if you guys don't understand, then I say then. Leaders seem to enjoy her presence.
Go for it. I'm just looking at the pretty building.
Oh, it is very, very beautiful.
Just saying, I feel like this tribe of dwarf really values a strong and confident, and also morally sound person. They're not gonna trust a fucking
He's gonna
drow
get
with
himself
a
out of that hole if his life depends on it.
Oh. You have a parasol. You're cool. And then and I've got a fucking blood-stained blindfold, and I'm a drow. She needs to be up front.
Yeah,
I
no,
agree.
that's true. It is an accurate
You suck.
statement.
You
if
suck.
I fail,
You're
we can-
cool. Yeah.
We can hypnotize him with your parasol. Maybe, I
True,
don't
yeah,
know.
that's what-
Holy fuck! Is that? Oh, okay. Oh my god, that might be a thing that happens.
We'll put that to the test. Maybe not right now.
No, not to the
but,
king.
you know.
Someone less.
No,
Yeah, not to the
Goblins.
king. Oh, the king. That would be a great
Yeah.
first target.
Goblins probably.
Okay, cool. So I push you to the front then.
All right,
And just kinda, like, fade
Amenderis
back.
turns back around and now sees Hylene standing before him and goes, "Oh, follow me." And you can kind of hear like a distant argument going on.
You know, maybe we should come back another time.
And Amenderis just goes, "Nah, they do this all the
They
time."
do this all the time?
All the
Okay,
time.
alright.
Is there anything we should know protocol-wise before going in and trying to speak to the king?
Bow,
Bow.
deep knee, and don't look at
Okay.
don't look at their eyes.
Okay.
Exactly what the gentleman just said.
I
He
was
gives you a
curious
quizzical
as
look
far
like,
as
"Oh, that's-"
I was curious as far as how to approach the king with the subject of
In other words, is this loss of river a sore subject for him? Should I approach it with care?
You are here for this very purpose. I don't think he'll yield to you.
And then I ask, my liege, my grace. King. Duly noted.
Know your majesty.
Your
Just king.
Majesty will do.
Okay.
Will suffice. But king, my king.
my king.
Mouth shut, eyes down. I got you, sir.
King me. Okay.
Let's not.
I
Let's
just
not.
had to get it out of my
Let's
system.
not.
Okay.
I'm glad you did it here and not.
All right. All right.
Please, I want
In
to
the
slide.
room,
I
yes.
do want to slide.
I know. I know.
Amenderis finally makes his way into these corridors now. There's a huge hall before you, grand ceiling, painted with kind of like the nighttime sky and the constellations, or at least the Dwarven constellations.
Sure, sure,
A few
sure.
of you don't really notice what they
can't
are.
Wait,
Tell.
dwarven constellation.
There is
One
like
of you
a
really
cleaver
doesn't notice.
in the sky. There are a few steins that are kind of like picturesque and all that.
Just
An
like a
anvil,
door, yep.
and they're constellations. There are a few of the other ones that you do notice, though. They tend to be kind of like universally known. In fact, they seem to kind of overlap the ones that they put on there. Like, no,
Orion's belt. It's everywhere.
Gillespie's fury.
and he kind of he kind of puts his hand up and goes, "Oh, just a moment." And he kind of you hear him you bend an ear towards the other quarter where you can't really see right now, and again, you can all now start to hear distant, muffled argument. You're not really sure exactly.
Like this. Okay.
And then you can hear a stamp. And the vizier walks out and just storms like, I cannot deal with. I'm sorry.
Bow.
I immediately look down and I bow.
You can feel him bow at Don Ash.
I'm now down to my knee.
Okay.
And not looking.
Wait, did we go to our knee for the vizier or just the king?
I do
Yeah,
it
no,
anyways.
I'm just.
bow anyway,
I'm just
like,
bowing.
You can see actually Armendariz is also semi-bowing. He doesn't really have the knee to the ground,
yeah.
but he's just kind of like my lord, these fine folk
Heroes.
heroes have come to you for the curious case of the water. Can you please tell His Majesty that they have arrived? And the vizier stands up now, full on, and he goes, a moment. And he kind of moves his collar a little bit, and as he just got out of a heated argument, and you can hear him kind of go back. What? Okay, hold on.
They're like an old married couple.
And you hear the doors open again, as now the vizier follows the king before you, and you can see a beautiful regal robe. Everything
I don't see
on
shit.
him.
I'm on my knee immediately.
Right. Well, you can still feel it.
Okay.
You can hear it.
You can feel the road.
What I mean is, you can actually feel and hear both of you,
Sure.
the clanking of his full-on metal chain-linked. Pretty much.
I swoon audibly.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's nice.
Oh.
It's just woven chainmail vest that has like a beautiful mosaic on it, and on top of that, he's got a tunic, a beautifully.
Just one quieter, please.
Eyes on the prize. That's right.
And he greets you
gold
all.
diggings.
Welcome. I am King Kamir.
He even
Your
sounds
Majesty.
majestic.
I have heard of your exploits with the necromancer. I am thrilled that you are blessing these halls with your presence. Listen, I'll cut to the chase. Oh, rise, please, everyone rise.
That's how that was.
And the vizier, you
hold on.
kind of feel him. You can see him kind of like get like that, and he's like,
That was a lot nicer than I expected.
protocol.
I'm still looking at
Enough
his
of
feet.
you. Look, we have a problem. Our water has not been the highest pressure it has been in a very long time. About 2 weeks, maybe 3. I haven't counted exactly. We need your help.
Fluffing out the chest, and
Yep.
just ever so slightly, just.
I kind of look to your director and I kind of nudge towards him and I.
My king,
To whom do I speak?
I am Hylene of the Athenai.
The Athenai. Oh no, this is a treat. And you see him kind of like move his vestments around a little bit. Speak, child.
So I am to understand that you have missing parties who have gone forth to try to figure out what has happened to the water.
We don't have very many to spare anymore. Those that we hold dear as far as our retinue of guard, we don't allow back down there. We'd like them to be close at hand if anything were to happen.
Understood. Was there anything that preceded the water receding? Any incidents that were possibly unexplained?
I mean, you see him kind of now the ground is kind of in the way, but you see him gesture towards an area of the ground and kind of move his gaze back at you. Nothing of consequence, nothing that we don't think was a part of this particular cause, no. But again, we cannot afford to lose any more of our foot soldiers. They can accompany you down to a certain point. I will arrange a meeting with them. But anyway, use the help. Just investigate what is going down there.
It is an honor to serve you, my king. And when would you like us to begin?
Well, he kind of looks over off into the side there, and on one of the walls, you can see this beautifully ornate hourglass that seems to be on a pivot. And when I say beautifully enlarged, and it's probably
I mean, quite erect.
no. It is a good 3 feet in height, and it is on a large pivot wheel that you can imagine. Obviously,
Spins.
And you see you can see a dwarf there, kind of like a standing guard. You can probably tell he's probably the one that moves the wheel when it's time.
The Wheel of Time. I see what you mean.
That dwarf's name is Robert Jordan.
Rabon Johan.
Yes.
Well, it's getting late. Perhaps you can stay the night, and we'll outfit you with the proper tools in the morning.
Or outfits, that's fine too.
Outfit you with outfits, yes, we can do that.
Your Majesty.
It may not be as pretty as you're imagining, Jingles.
Your Majesty, if I could speak so boldly.
Please.
We would really love to know exactly what we are up against. Rodin has been quite the companion along the road, as well as Denise and the rest of the party.
I know them well.
They've been quite forthcoming, but slightly closed-mouthed, if you understand my meaning.
They don't really know everything that goes on.
Then
I
please.
will enlighten you.
Thank you,
We
Your Grace.
think our scouts have reported anyway that a group of goblins has taken residency up in the far parts of this mountain. We think they are using or siphoning the water. We don't know how exactly, but they have figured out a way to lessen the pressure on our end. And to be honest, it's making production worse.
Do you know anything about this tribe of goblins?
Bingo.
They are typically nomads, but they seem to have settled down.
Nomads who've settled down. Do you know if they are partial to
Eagle statues?
Bribes.
or just trinkets, anything that could possibly be used as a bargaining chip?
They don't seem like the type that would
Tall women.
enjoy trinkets.
Damn it.
The little that we know about them, they tend to be
I think
a hunter-gatherer type of tribe.
No, please.
If, because I would prefer not to resort to violence unless absolutely necessary. If we were able to come to an agreement where there's a possibility of sharing the water, where you are both getting what you want, you're getting your water pressure back, and they are able to tend to the land that they have now occupied. Is that something that you would be open to?
Oh, I don't like that question.
He turns to the vizier and he brings him closer. They step away, and you can kind of, with the king's the vizier's back towards you guys, and you can't really see what they're talking about.
They're whispering.
That was a question that is better suited to ask after the fact, not before.
They turn back around towards you, and the vizier kind of steps aside, and King Khmer makes his way over to where you're at. And I say it makes his way. He's still keeping a good 7 feet away from you.
Sure.
There are, I should note, there are about 15 guards, aside from the one that is guarding the hourglass, all along the pillars of the hall, the Great Hall. The king goes, I don't know. We can only guess that maybe there will be some chance at a resolution, but goblins and dwarves, we don't get along very well.
Understood, my king.
Perhaps the fact that you are going instead of us would help.
We will
can
do
be
our
our
best.
liaison, if you will.
Question. Those that you sent out to scout for the missing water, were they armed?
A few.
And those who are armed have not come back, or all who have left have not come back.
No, the scouts that have reported back, they came back with good information. It was those that got a little more emboldened in our plight. The water has been, I mean, it's a source of all of our product here down in the mountain. You can't replace that. There's nothing we can do to replace that.
I completely understand that. Sounds like the water is your source of resource. If you
Power, yes.
absolutely.
It
The
is
scouts.
precious to us.
What
You
information
can
do you
actually see the river that was moving around tends to start from nearby. There is a throne that you're kind of noticing right now, off to the just barely within your peripheral of your vision of your sense, and you can see that there is the water coming out from the side of the throne itself that is meandered into the hall and then
Sure.
exits out a very small opening on the far wall behind you.
So then I kind of look at the group, kind of like as I'm bowing, kind of look at everybody.
I'm side-eyeing the vizier. Yeah.
And I begin to speak and I look up only to his waist, just enough to let him know that I'm talking to him, and I go, Your Majesty, it seems that there's a bit of trouble and danger with accepting this job, considering those who have been missing, and we are more than willing to bring any if they are alive back.
You can see him wave his hand at the vizier like, go get it.
There's an it?
But, he didn't say it though, but I go, so I request 2 things for our party. 1, any and all information that is necessary for this trip. I do not want to take in my crew blind. I point to my blindfold. We already have a handicap as it is. I wish not anybody to get hurt. So if you have any information from your scouts and anything else, I would very kindly ask for that.
Puts a hand up. I will arrange for you to meet with the scouts. We will probably... He stops for a moment. I have it. I will allow you to meet the Skull Company. They are my most dear bodyguards.
Well, I greatly appreciate that, as it seems it is very high honor.
They know more than I do.
But
They are the ones that went down into the mines and came back.
I do have a second request.
Yes.
I wish to take one of them with us.
They all 3 are going to go down with you.
Problem
And
solved.
as that is all met, we are more than willing to take this quest of yours. I guess my last question is, what exactly do you offer in return if we are to
The vizier comes back now with this large coffer.
That's the it I was hoping for.
He brings it over and he opens it up. 100 platinum bars. And he picks up each individual bar.
I don't know how
Is this 10 or 100 gold pieces?
This is 1,000 gold
That was
pieces.
real magic.
Wait, per platinum?
No. Each 10 platinum pieces. Oh, sorry, 10 gold
Gold
pieces
pieces
is
per
1
platinum.
platinum.
So this
Fuck.
is 1,000 gold. We're looking at. We could buy that stupid
We could buy
bluestone
several
times
rugs,
over.
yeah.
Rugs!
Oh, yes, we should measure it in rugs. I think that's a good idea.
Or 1,000,000 parasols, if you will. So I do not look at the coffer. I do everything in my power to avoid my blindfold contact to the coffer.
Cha-ching! There are dollar signs in my eyeballs.
And I just go,
Trixie's also kind of just gripping your arm.
I was
like,
gonna say, yeah, Trixie's nails are like digging into my arm. Ow, 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 ow.
You know what?
fuck.
You take 1 point of damage as she's
Ow, ow, ow.
And I go, well, now that all my questions are answered, Your Grace, we are more than welcome to follow your lead if it is a night of rest that you request, or a meet with the Skull Group,
Skull Company.
then so be it.
Roll out. Skull Company's a good name.
Fucking A, dude.
I
Yeah.
like that.
I bow before the king once more. Thank you, your majesty. I do believe that we
can find a peaceful solution to this.
He gets closer to you now, puts his hand on your head, and just kind of doesn't kiss it. No. He just
me.
boops you with his forehead. Just kind of like.
No, that's a huge sign of respect. The king is doing that to you.
Yes.
Oh my god.
He's not necessarily bowing down, but more like
I'm just like-
reaching over because you're bowing down. So he's able to kind of like now do this and goes, "Go, my child. You are a very special one."
I'm speechless. I rise, speechless, and bow again. And
Armendariz, if you can please fit these people with a nice place to stay tonight. They are our esteemed guests.
Yeah, honestly, anywhere that place will do just fine. I feel like I would be so happy with just, anything you've got in there. Any spare rooms or, whatever.
Do you have any metal
and the mulled wine.
Oh,
Just,
you did.
you
we were promised mulled wine. We
Malt?
got here. Mulled.
Mulled wine.
Mulled or malt?
Malt.
Oh.
Oh, malt?
Malt
Not
liquor
malt.
mixed with mulled wine.
Sure,
this is a great combo.
Sure, why not?
That's right.
Mulled wine. We'll go with mulled wine.
Fantastic, fantastic. Cubes and such. Yeah.
Armendariz goes, he kind of like grabs you like, I got you. We'll have a good night.
Oh, fantastic.
Not
I
too good
love...
of a night. Not one of those.
We don't want to go down there
ones.
hungover.
We don't know what the barmaids look like, Amalthea. We have yet to discover all the fucking possibilities. You
That's true.
have a list I need to check off. Sorry.
Oh.
Then you need to check.
Right. She's gonna lay every race
Every
in this fucking
town.
world.
I was gonna say Denise is cute as a button.
Oh shit! Okay, here we go.
Every session. That's like the staple for every
mode,
session.
yeah.
You know what?
Oh,
It's
man.
perfect. All right.
Your belt's gonna fray apart with all the notches on it. Jesus.
My God.
To do, I guess, a history check
On her sex life.
I don't need to know that.
I haven't been with anyone since my lover
Yeah,
died.
you say that, but
I think
She
that's
awakened
sweet.
something in me.
of course.
Right.
On nomadic goblins and their customs and things like that.
Armendariz will also tell you, Skull Company, they'll know.
Okay.
Just bear with us. Tonight, we party, okay? We have a night.
Yeah.
Tonight we party.
Enough of the
okay?
questions.
The words are something
Shut your
else.
fucking trap and drink, will you?
First, we'll get you fitted for your rooms, okay? Follow me. And he makes his way into the upper structure of this area, but it's under the main platform that you guys were at, the same level that the king is at. The rooms are nice. You can each have an individual room if you wish.
Take it,
Yes.
take it,
Yes,
Trixie.
Yes,
You
yes,
get.
yes, yes.
Okay, all right. Just making sure.
Trixie will take her own room. She's
Okay,
like, you know,
alright.
I could use a little stretch. You know,
yeah,
nice.
she always steals my room, so I just wanted to make sure that I got my dibs.
Each one of them is similar, so there's not one that's going to be better than the other.
Okay.
In fact, it's the same exact floor plan.
Sure about that.
Yes.
She'll
Any way we can,
For
any
fuck's
way we
sake.
can put her in a slightly crappier one.
no chance.
No chance.
You guys,
I don't think there is a
put your
slightly
stuff
crappier
down,
one.
and the doors here are really thick, and they each give you a key to your own room.
Like,
And it's similar. Yeah, the key itself, the handle part
Sure.
is probably around that big, where the workings of the actual key itself are probably a good maybe inch and a half or
That's
so.
a key.
It's heavy.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good heft to it. You're not gonna lose this key. And in fact, as you turn the key inside, you can hear different workings inside the door, not just where the keyhole is, where the bolt comes out, but you can hear other stuff kind of
It's
like.
like gears and mechanisms.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this place is legit.
It's interesting enough. You notice that there is a stream in each of your rooms, and it's probably around sink level that kind of moves in and out of each of
I'm
one of
just
your
gonna go
rooms.
sit in my little stream.
You can't sit. It's high up.
Oh.
It's sink level.
Darn it.
So it's like a counter up. In fact, there's actually
I'm tall. I can climb on it.
It's just here like.
it seems to me
I'm
like maybe
sitting.
it's about a foot in width, and so you probably can't really.
Yeah.
I want the room that's most upstream. I call it. Dibs, fuck all you.
Now that
Going
you
to
go
do-
inside and you start to feel the water, like, oh wait, you know what? I'm gonna. And Armando will actually give you the key for the proper room. Yeah.
Enjoy your tasting water, bitches.
Don't drink the water.
I'm gonna sleep with my nutsack. Sorry, I had to say.
No.
Why not? It's a nice, cool breeze.
It's up here. You'd have to be like this.
I am very flexible. I have had 100 years of practice. Just kidding.
Doing
Anyways,
specifically
That's what he
that.
did for
specifically
100
nut
years.
dipping into water. My monkish abilities, no bounds.
Spend a key point.
Flurry of blows. Patient defense.
There you go.
This is the culmination of 100 years of meditation.
You're definitely patient.
And then I hear,
All right.
ah, in the background. No, okay. So I get that room. We all get our rooms, and then
You guys get your own rooms with nut water, and
Staying away from the water.
again, there are really low beds, as most of these beds are built for dwarves.
oh, the ceiling's
You-
low too.
Lower than normal.
Sure.
I would say maybe like Hylene, you can reach the top with your helm on.
Oh, okay. So
Okay.
It's just you can pretty much do
You're like dusting the ceiling.
pretty much you can
Yeah.
pretty much
I can
put
literally
a
raise
hand
the roof.
on the ceiling itself.
Okay, cool.
The rest of you, even you yourself, you can probably jump and touch it. It's
I'm gonna
Just
try it a few
comfortable.
times, just like the
For the rest of you, yeah,
random
like, I
white
mean,
kid in the
Just
theater.
feel
Just
tall.
There
Got
are
it.
there are torches in the room, and again there are small little tiny holes above you to kind of allow for the fumes to escape and whatnot. And the door itself has a window where you can open up if you wish. But for the most part, everything is just a solid. It's colder now inside these rooms.
That's
even.
nice.
It's a nice change of atmosphere from the outside where you're
Ooh, the forges,
with the
right.
forges heating up
So
there.
I drop all my things, my belongings and whatnot, into my room.
There's a chest for each of you. There
Perfect.
are like an armoire if you wish to use it.
I drop all of it in there. I lock my rooms and I come back out
Even a
and
small
I start
desk.
knocking on everyone's door.
Okay.
why would you do that?
Because
I come out too, because I'm excited about the
You notice that
We're
Armender
excited
is
about the
sitting
moment.
down at the very end, just kind of like waiting for you guys to come out, put your stuff away.
Oh, that's right, the mulled wine.
right, and I go, what's his name?
Armender is.
Mendres. You said there was a party of such.
I mean, we can always. We're one to drink, you know.
As are we. I do believe that we did challenge and beat
Amanda,
some.
do not allow this man to speak a challenge against you guys, because
You're right. Please do not let me speak a challenge to you guys because we did beat your five finest scouts the last time that we did do this.
obviously.
No, I understand completely, Amalthea. Thank you so much for saving them their pride. I mean, it's unfortunate that
You
we
hear
beat
the
them
lock
once.
to Jingle's door click shut again.
It would be absolutely embarrassing if they lost twice in a row.
Will you be vomiting in your other hand tonight?
I do not remember such an act. Vomiting, you say? No.
I did say.
The Armender is he's stroking his beard and
I see the glint in your eye. Do you bet?
I'm staying out
what
of
is the wager?
this.
I don't want to be bold, and I do not want to insult customs, so I ask you.
You touch that blue rock and you die.
No, that's way safe. That's back in the armoire.
Okay.
So I ask you.
Hmm?
Yeah. What do you usually wager? Especially with foreigners as us. I mean, we can't really keep our drink down. Honestly, it's actually unfortunate that your party lost.
Staying out of this, Donna.
Gold coin.
Me
One gold coin.
No, gold in general.
Oh, gold coin.
Coin.
Absolutely. Name the price.
He looks you up and down. Let's start with 20.
20.
Don't look at me. I'm in my room. My door's locked.
This is your 20 gold coins. Neither me nor her they put any money
I'm
into
going to
this
go
whatsoever.
enjoy a glass of mulled
Me
wine, and I'm
too.
going
I'm
to watch you
coming
make an
with
ass
you.
of yourself.
Donna, please do come with us.
Guys.
But don't.
Would Trixie want to go with you?
To watch
No.
him, I was gonna say to
Jingles
watch him
has
make an ass
locked
out of himself.
in his room.
Oh, you could give her the other scroll and she could tell you everything that
Oh
happened.
shit!
She can.
We have not used that yet.
That we have
And we
not.
can use it to talk shit.
You guys
That
are
okay? That's the
fucking
best way
cowards.
to do it.
You guys are cowards. We won the trust of these doors by drinking them.
We have an important job to do tomorrow.
I understand,
I'm
but
just
I'm
gonna-
sure they have
Yeah.
higher concentrated hangover cures
Now,
than the
Does
tavern.
Amalthea have the scrolls? Did you pass them off to her?
Trixie has one.
Yeah.
I
Trixie
had
has
I had both.
You had
'Cause
both.
Keen gave it, and
Well,
Trixie grabbed them out of my hands because I couldn't
both.
see.
Okay, cool. She's got them.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Stealing from
Well, no,
the
no,
wine
no,
guy.
no, no,
That's
I
Trixie.
gave them to her. I exchanged
She was
them.
handed
Yeah.
the scrolls. All right. Okay. Just to know.
So yeah, she may or may not
She
exchange
knocks on your door,
one with
and
me, but
if you wish to grab the other scroll, she goes.
Yes.
if you're going with them, I want to hear every word.
It might be fun.
Yes. Trixie's the best. You guys are cowards. Trixie is not my new best friend. Sorry. You and I
he's
are still
actually Skeet kind of pops out and he's.
Oh, Skeet.
Do you,
I think it's probably best if you go down there tonight.
Give him
you
him
know
a
what, buddy?
mullet.
And I'm gonna give him business in the front, party in the back.
okay.
And I'm
mullet.
Fuck
and
yeah.
I am going to task him. I'm just gonna. Excellent.
He
Yeah.
notices that he's now has a mullet. Oh.
Hey, buddy, you know what to do tonight. All right.
And Skeet kind of rolls back into the confines of
You
Trixie's
can't let him
cloak.
steal shit. We're still under the service of this king. Oh, you fucking asshole. Okay. Alright.
No, don't mess this up for us.
I'm just saying, he might not steal from the dwarves.
Oh, god damn it.
He might,
God
you
damn
know.
it, you. Okay, yeah, whatever. It's already done. I can't do anything about it. I know nothing. Alright, so, yeah. So we go to this party.
All right. So he.
Is anyone
Amanda
else
is-
going?
I'm going.
But you're not participating in this bet.
No, we're
We're just
We're
watching
observing.
you.
And
We're
you're staying in
watching
your
your
rooms.
downfall.
I am. Yeah, I was gonna say I am staying in my room. I am going to do a little bit of reading tonight.
All right. Fair enough. You look up your the books that you found.
I am going to crack open the first of the Necromancer's tomes.
Alrighty.
Wait, the one with the olfactory?
The
Or
the
phylactery.
one that I wanted to be a
Olfactory.
phylactery. The olfactory.
That's smell.
It enhances your sense of smell. But yes, the first one that I found out what I thought was the phylactery is actually a jar with organs in it. So
Oh,
apparently I
Jesus.
have that in my haversack.
Also, I do still have that massive cracked ruby.
Ooh,
I have all the gems.
you really do.
I
How
really
the hell
do.
do you get these?
I don't know.
So I'm gonna crack open the first of the Necromancer's tomes, and I am going to start reading what this dude was all about.
Okay. All right.
Alright.
But I'm not letting anybody know that I'm reading.
For sure, we don't know shit.
I mean, you've got the scroll right next to you on your bed, in your stout bed. Even.
And I'm keeping tabs on the juicy secrets. This is like the
You got it.
text messages back
Right.
and forth.
I love. Wait, but you can only use it once a day, though.
Really?
That's what you said the first time. You can only use it once a day.
Oh no!
Okay.
There
All
goes
right.
my ideas of tweeting.
I know.
We'll have to. I'll work on that.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll see.
That's all right. If
right
it's
now,
just once a day, save me. I'm just gonna message her, from
Saving
the one
easy
direction.
details, yeah.
Juicy stuff.
All right. Okay. The four of you make your way down. Trixie's kind of has her little cloak, but not fully
Sure.
fitted up, and Skeet is kind of like poking out every now and then.
I unbuttoned
kinda-
my vest just enough to really just walk proudly.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Get
just
that
get the
V.
cut.
Are you doing a little bit of like the Magnum PI?
Now,
thing?
I'm
here's a
actually
question
wearing
for
civilian clothes
Donash then. Does Donash have chest hair?
You know what? No, he doesn't.
Okay.
I feel like
Alright.
he's as clean as Bruce Lee.
All right.
There you
I'll
go.
go with
All right.
Bruce Lee. Okay, sure. All right.
That's gonna. I should have said chest hair. Fuck, I should have said chest hair. No,
It's all right. I've got
Too
it.
late.
I've got it.
Are you gonna prestidigitate chest hair on me?
to go with your jazz
I can
flute.
hook you up. I can hook you up, bro.
Just a burly fucking. Okay. Alright, cool.
Minor
yeah, no.
illusion, chest hair.
Wait, are you actually?
No, I'm locked up in my room. You're
Alright,
on
yeah,
your own.
no, I'm clean. I'm clean.
Okay, cool. But you do have the musculature, so
Yes.
it's very, very prominent, and you're just kind of like walking out, almost like with a weird like robotic purpose, you know. He makes his way down to there's like a mead hall and a few other. Oh, there's a lot of things on tap here. You can see already people are already kind of like having a decent time. Nothing too out of the ordinary for like a normal tavern. And you can see Armendariz kind of make his way down to the end there, where you can see him pour himself a few little ales, put them to the side, and points to you.
I walk very proudly. I swagger over to him.
He takes 20 gold and he puts it on the table.
And I take 20 gold. 20 gold pieces,
20
right?
gold pieces, correct.
Yeah, I put 19 down, and then the 20th, like that, and then down.
Ooh.
I thought you were going to pelt him with it.
No, not yet. There's no children around. Children get the pelting. Men get the show.
Make a performance check. Make a performance.
Alright,
I wanna see.
Oh my.
13.
Okay. You go and you do pretty well with it. You almost stumble with it or fumble with it a little bit.
But that's when I.
Yeah. Then.
Yeah.
He's like grabs one stein, hands in front of you. He takes his as well.
Is it just me and him?
Yeah. I mean, there's other dwarves
But like
drinking.
we're
yeah.
the only ones in this.
His gaze has not left you.
All right, great.
But we're standing right, like next. We're just going.
We're just sipping our wine.
May the best dwarf win.
May the best drow win.
Con check.
Natural 20.
Ooh.
Okay. It goes down. It's pretty smooth. The dwarves know how to make their ales. You can see kind of Armendo's like gets another one. Gets the other one again for you.
Are you sure? No, by all means, you made it dance. I just want to make sure. If the music is nice, by all means, get up and go dance. But stay here if you want to drink.
He actually whistles. It's a really sharp whistle, but it goes and kind of exudes through the whole. And you can see people on the other end, like they what? Kind of talking amongst each other, and they begin to grab their instruments and. You can hear another flute as well, kind of join it, and what looks kind of like a violin of sorts,
fiddle.
played with a bow, but it's interesting. It's not quite the same shape. It's more stout. It's actually oval, and it still has the same kind of fretwork as a violin, but it's it's actually almost a muted type of violin. So if you imagine a mute guitar, now a mute violin. So it's very, it has a almost a like a minor key feel to it.
Sad. Okay, so we're sad drinking.
Dark.
And the Luke guy is kind of still playing, and their attention is kind of on you two. And he takes his mug.
Take my sign.
Drinks. Make a con check.
Natural 20.
Jesus, really?
Without even blinking, he's almost out of the corner of the thing. I understand that you cannot drink.
No,
but
sure,
you're like,
sure.
I mean, you can't see rather. But you're just doing like the whole like. You haven't even moved your head, and he's like.
This
Grabs two more.
Listen, what's his name?
Go.
Fair enough.
Another con check.
Con? Okay, 12.
Okay. You're able to down it. It starts to kind of like, you can feel it, but you're
Sure.
like, no, I got this.
So
All
the
right.
third one, yeah.
Third one.
Second one?
The fourth one now.
Right.
Make it with a disadvantage now. He's got to make it too with a disadvantage. Oh.
10.
Great. You're able to. you're starting to feel the weight of just the general amount of volume of the ale.
Yeah.
You're like, oh wow, okay. But you're just holding it down. You're like, I got this. It tastes pretty good. So for the most
This is
part,
kind of my forte. So
Apparently so.
yeah, exactly. You actually kind of feel a little tingling in your fingers. You're like, you're almost getting that little spark. Like, not now,
right,
yeah, but not
right.
now. Go ahead and he gives you the other one. You can kind of see him like his eyes glass over a little bit, but he's still holding.
I'm honest this. You have to name the limit here, because we can keep drinking all night.
I can't.
6 it is. We fucking yeah.
Actually, I think this is the 5th one, right?
5th one? No, we had 3 and then 2. So this is the 6th.
All right.
Yeah.
6th one it is.
Disadvantage?
Disadvantage.
12.
Natural 20, but disadvantage. It's a natural 4. He.
Yes.
You can see him kind of like squirm in his chair. He's just like, no, not like this,
Look a bit weary, mate.
Do you want to give up? There's Nisha.
No! Guess the other one.
Oh boy.
Wait!
So glad I'm not there right
Another.
now.
I put 1 more in front of him. And I put 1 more in front of myself. 2.
You are mean.
All or nothing.
Nothing at all.
Should I go find a bowl just in case?
Yes.
I got my
somebody
hand, it's
find
fine.
our-
At the
You
same
can see
time.
him kinda
At the fucking same time.
There is some spillage on the
Sure,
side.
of course, there is
but,
going to be.
But he's just you can.
They're both like Stone Cold Steve Austin.
The 3 of you, meaning you 2 and Trixie, notice his eyes kind of like almost twitch and move to the back of his head as he begins to just most of it spilling off to the side. He's gonna make his at.
Am I?
You know what? No, you don't. You make it, but you don't make it at disadvantage.
Okay. No, good fuck.
What?
Would you mind saying
What
that?
the hell?
That would be a natural 20.
Wow! Holy crap!
Freaking Taliesin Jr. over here.
You feel the energy. You're like, oh, this is my moment. What does this dwarf have on me? And you can see him kind of like, all right, lad. No, he's holding it down, but like, even a good man knows when to stop.
And you are absolutely a good man.
He takes the gold and shoves it towards you.
Ooh.
He takes your hand. He grabs it really hard, but also it's kind of like he had a good grip, and then kind of just dies.
No, it's this right here.
Oh, of course.
No.
Yeah, it's the arm, and then he kind of like just lets go limply and moves
I
back.
catch him.
No, he
No?
sits back
Okay.
in his chair, but he I haven't been out drinking in goodness 15 years, and it was my old man that did it. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Is that
And
what did him
I
in?
pour out a little bit of like her ale. Because I finished mine.
For my homies.
Yeah, I finished mine, so I pour out hers.
All right, yeah, he'll see that and goes. He finishes the rest of the little bit that was
Sure.
left, and you're a good lad.
As I do.
And he kind of claps again and goes, yeah, more. Oh, and they begin to like change their complete tune, almost like a key change, but then like it's also just a little bit lively. It's more like a sailor's little
Sure,
jaunt,
sure.
just a little.
Yeah.
And you can see that the dwarves are kind of get into it, and the night goes on with a few more dwarves coming in and also leaving on their thing. Armendariz bids you guys good night as he has to head back into the forges and drunkenly.
It's like stumbling, like
Oh, he full on like nails it right into the one of the columns there in this meat hall, and he just
like a champ.
Yeah.
that way.
And as he leaves, I yell to the entire hall. I go, what is his name?
Armendariz.
Amenderez. Amenderez, the best of men and the drunkards of drunkards!
You hear a burp from his.
I get on the table and I start fucking clapping and stomping.
Okay, cool. The dwarves are like, yeah, and they begin to kind of like again with the steins against the ground. You can actually see Rodin is there, and he's just like he walked in like. No. He walks out like, nah, this is good. Yeah, I'm good. The night proceeds with merry music, and you are, you may join them with your flute every now and
Sufficiently
then.
sloshed.
Sure.
Oh yeah, no. You know the three people that are there. You know that he is drunk, but for whatever reason, he's holding it together. He's just like in the zone, and his eyes are glazed. Oh, I mean, you can't see him, so no. But I mean, there's a shine to his skin. There's definitely like that sweaty
A rosy blush.
Rosy blush, yeah. If you could see an ashy skinned dwarf, drow blush, you would. Anyway, the night concludes with the rest of the dwarves kind of turning in for the night. You see the bartenders, close out their barrels and whatnot, and continue to wipe down the tables.
I think it's time to help you to your room.
That's how you gain respect, company. That's how you gain respect.
Do you? That? No, okay.
I feel like
You're
with
holding
420s, I'm good.
You're holding it pretty well. Again, the little magic within you, you almost want to
I kind of sway a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of sway, and I just feel the room, and there's a weird balance to my movements, and I just feel right, and all of a sudden I kind of.
It's interesting as you guys go to try to hold him. You kind of moves him and fluidly avoids everything that you're trying to That's weird, and the
Makes
night
a good drunk.
The night concludes. You guys make your way back up to your rooms, and that's where we'll end tonight's session.
God damn it, we can't end. No, come on, I want to know about these goblins. She's got to fall in love with one of them to get our prize.
I don't need to fall
No.
in love with anybody.
Sorry, I misspoke. She needs to make one of them fall in love with her to get the prize. We leave with the booty. You are still the maiden.
Kick some goblin ass. That's what I want to do.
No, come on! Everyone wants to keep watching. I know you don't want to keep watching.
I think we can negotiate.
I got some new spells I want to try out.
Fuck. Alright. It's DM's call.
All right.
DM's call.
No. Thank you guys all for watching at home.
It was worth a try.
Yeah.
Well, it is 9:05, so I want to.
That was the right time. Okay.
Yep. I let it go for a little bit longer. Again, thank you guys for watching at home. I hope you had a nice, cozy evening by the fire. If you had a malt wine of your own, let us know.
Or mulled wine.
Or mulled wine,
Any
Any
whatever.
kind of wine really works.
Yeah. With that, I will say the quote that I messed up last week, and that is, every story has 20 sides. What's yours?